We'll have to see what ABC can do, though. They're going to be playing a composition that they have looked fantastic on for such a long time. You talk about some of the practice that maybe they missed based off the circumstances that they told us, and even talking to other teams, you know, well, ABC can rely on their Rogue Mage, and they have so many years of that composition under their belt that they can really make it work.
Yeah, I mean, changed my mind when I had a chance to talk to them after their last series. They said they weren't that worried about the Rogue Mage Druid, which surprised me. We'll have to see if ABC can make them eat their words, or if Change My Mind really does have a trick up their sleeve.
We see actually an immediate Hibernate Sheep combination coming out of ABC. That crowd control chain that saw them take down the boys. Asgraf and Alec, you know, they've been playing together for years, even if they had that break during last year. These guys won BlizzCon together. They have that synergy. You can never underestimate a former BlizzCon champion. 2017 was the year of ABC. They have to see if 2019 they can get top 3 in the first LAN of the year. We see Blind going over onto Minpoike early in the game. He's actually sitting through that, though. There's not much offense coming from Nixie.
Ooh, nice backup by Valet. Alec was looking for the follow-up Ring of Frost, but Valet, with that leap of faith, was able to grip Minpoike to safety, avoiding that crowd control, allowing Change My Mind to remain aggressive in this matchup. Good pressure here on Valet, but he's at a very defensive position with Minpoike. It's unlikely he's really going to get pressured down here. Asgrath now into a full blind, but with the amount of crowd control Change My Mind has available, Asgrath waits until a little bit more follow-up, but this could cost Alex his side block. He gets so low. 1%. Massive spell comes in, but unfortunately that was kitty shot by Nixie. That was very greedy by Alec, and that almost cost them game number 1.
He's taking his best wealthy man cosplay there. No, I'm kidding, that's mean. But Alec, very, very close
shots
to the time before.
You sound like Rich.
There. Yeah, I know. That was harsh. But I mean, he's still in trouble. The smoke bomb coming out. We see Temporal Shield purged immediately. Big plays from Villi on that Shadow Priest. It's so annoying for the Restoration Druid to play against the Shadow Priest with the constant spamming of that purge, removing the hots, removing the Temporal Shields, exposing Alec to the big raw damage of Changed My Mind. And you know, I'm not even convinced that this is a favorable matchup for ABC. Changed My Mind so far have been looking fantastic. Not even a trinket from Minpoike so far.
Like I said, Changed My Mind, they weren't worried about this composition. ABC, I don't know if they really have the answer here in game number 1. Things are looking good for Change My Mind. Kitty shot now on Minpoike. Looks like Nixie's trying to get some damage rolling, but Minpoike, he's been playing very well in bear form, completely fine through that swap. Alec now having to play in a very defensive position, and what happens if Alec is in line of sight of Valet? Valet, with his Dispel magic, is able to remove all those heal over time effects, as well as the Ice Barrier, which is a crucial part of a Frost Mage defense. If you can get off that Ice Barrier, it's a huge absorb shield that they no longer have to deal with. Nice little swap coming in from Change My Mind. Vendetta on Nixie. He should be able to survive with Iron Bark, with Feint. A lot of damage reduction. Another swap here on him in Poike, but he's in bear form.
Yeah, I mean, Minpoike has been playing it very well. He's had a good tournament so far, really shutting up the naysayers, including us sometimes. He's had a fantastic one. I'm wondering if ABC maybe decided to lock in the Rogue Mage, thinking that the Paladin was going to come out from Minpoike, but on the Druid, he's just shut down everything so far. We see the Smoke Bomb coming out, trying to get some damage over onto Villi. He does have that Dispersion available, the immunity essentially to damage, should he choose to use it. Another grip coming in on the Ring of Frost, but Polymorph follow-up from Alec. Well played. Acrolol's looking to deny any follows, so double Growth, the Vanish coming in. Good plays all around. Vendetta from Nixie. They're still trying to force stuff here. Good crowd control over onto Minpoike. ABC, you never count them out as the Rogue Mage. They have such good synergy, such good crowd control. Full Polymorph or DR to follow it up will force the dispersion.
Yeah, and if they can continue this crowd control chain, it could be the Void Shift coming in from Valet. That would be a little bit of a disaster here for Change My Mind. Full blind on Asgrath into a full sap. What is Acro going to be able to do? Lands a cheap shot onto Alec, but there's not too much follow-up damage here from Valet. Just been pressured down way too much. It's been good control in the matchup so far from ABC, but you can see Asgrath, he's falling behind on mana, activating his Innervate, wants to keep his team nice and healthy, and this might be an opportunity after the Iron Bark, as well as that precious Innervate, to try to sneak away and go for a drink.
Yep, Minpoike trinkets out of this blind, so they're starting to feel the heat from ABC now. No dispersion, good Cyclone from Asgrath, but the mana, look at the mana. Asgrath already down to 30%. He's stealing so I mean, it's just so difficult because the Shadow Priest spam purges all of those heal over time effects from the Restoration Druid. Now they're swapping damage over onto Nixie. They're really generating high levels of pressure here, forcing out that Cloak of Shadows, big immunity to all the Shadow Priest damage. Nixie, a huge cooldown forced out there. We see a Trinket, a stun over onto Minpoike. They're trying to get swaps to him. They're actually committing here. They use the Melt to get the really cheap shot. That forces out the Bark Skin. Minpoike now very exposed. No Bark Skin, no Trinket on him, no Trinket on Villi. If they could cross CC, they could deny the Void Shift and land the kill.
Yeah, Minpoike could be in a little bit of trouble, but he does manage to sneak away. Acro caught into a Frost Dome, and this is one of the problems. If Minpoike's pressured down, there's always the threat of the kidney shot. If he gets caught into a kidney shot, well, there's a polymorph on Acro, all of a sudden there's no longer a Dispel available, and Acro just gets caught into all kinds of crowd control. Minpoike in bear form, once again, good pressure here, coming in from ABC. Minpoike does manage to survive. There wasn't that much burst damage available. Alec looking for an Avid Bolt. This could be big damage on him. Minpoike, a little bit of trouble, but he does have the Iron Bark if he needs it. Acro committing his Vendetta, looking for some pressure. Bash on Asgrath. Minpoike trying to help out his team with some crowd control, but ABC does manage to hold on. If you look, Nixie, he actually has his Vendetta, so this could be dangerous for Minpoike.
Yeah, it's actually... Minpoike is running the Balance Affinity, which we've seen the benefits because it helps them with the crowd control, which they very much need in this matchup, but it does expose him as a target, so he's really challenging ABC. He's saying, hey, punish me for this Balance Affinity, and so far he's done a fantastic job of denying that. He's been constantly in bear form, kiting well, playing well in general. He's had a good tournament. Once again, the kidney shot coming in here. This is the Icy Veins, the Vendetta. Barkskin to answer. Good crowd control over onto Villi. The DR cheap shot, scary times. There's no Void Shift available at this moment in time due to the crowd control, but he might not even need it. Double Skin comes in, the Maledict. Life swap forced at the nick of time. Villi coming in clutch for his team.
Yeah, definitely, but that was a close call. ABC has had so much pressure at this point. Changed My Mind is kind of falling apart. Villi trying to play catch up right now, activating that Vampiric Embrace, but Alec, just so much control. This is what I'm talking about. If they can pressure down Minpoike, all of a sudden, Alec and Asgrath, they can go to town with crowd control, and Minpoike can't help out with Dispels. He's just getting low. ABC looking to take him down. Nixie all over him. Gets the life grip behind the pillar. Villi looking to throw in some Shadow Mans. Can Minpoike survive? Nice interrupt by Nixie. Minpoike throws in a bash, looking for a full Cyclone. That's the crowd control Minpoike needs to potentially escape, but Alec just keeping him locked down, keeping him snared, not allowing him to get fully healthy. And now mana is looking bad for both of these Druids.
Yeah, ABC, this is where they're the best. They spam crowd controlling the DPS. The Shadow Priest, of course, one of the main weaknesses is, you know, you don't have a counter spell, you don't have a spell lock, so you can't really stop this spam Mage Druid crowd control. So they just CC him, do the damage over onto Minpoike. I actually wouldn't mind seeing them tunnel him with this Balance Affinity. I think it might be their best strategy in the matchup. Swapping some damage back over onto Villi, but should be able to heal through that easily. He also has the Dispersion should it be needed. Asgrath, meanwhile, completely out of mana. Nixie, no Cloak of Shadows. This Iron Bark is the last line of defense. Following this, Nixie, if he gets caught up in a kidney, could easily die. Here comes the kidney shot. This could be it. A preemptive stun onto Villi, though, should prevent a lot of this incoming damage. Good Cyclone from Minpoike to stabilize his team.
That was actually a bit of a disaster. I'm pretty sure that was a DR kidney shot coming in from Acro, and that could have just closed out the game. Wasted opportunity from Change My Mind. Maybe C can stabilize. Villi could be in some trouble. He still has the Dispersion if he really needs it. Bash on him in Minpoike. Has his Trinket. Alec looking for a full Ring of Frost, landing the double. Now Nixie, though, he's the one that's actually in a lot of trouble. Can he be able to survive? He does have the evasion as well as the feint as well as the vanish, so I think he's okay. Swap now over on Acro with the polymorph on Minpoike. ABC switching it up. Minpoike forced to Trinket out with the Iron Bark. Cheap shot on his Trinket. Nixie extending the crowd control chain. Can Acro survive? Growth silence on both rogues. I'm in trouble. I'm scared for both of these rogues, Adrian.
Yeah, I don't know who smoke bomb that is, man. It could be game over for Acro. He's so low on health. The mind control, the ice block. Desperate times call for desperate measures. Has changed my mind. Flail to survive, but surely they will not. And the kill comes in for ABC 1-0 in the series.
So well played by Change My Mind. More aggression, that is what we're going to see. ABC leads in the series. Can Change My Mind even up the scale?
Yeah, Change My Mind looking to claim an edge on a smaller map like Hook Point. It's going to be much more difficult for Alec to run and hide, escape. He's been doing a phenomenal job in this tournament so far, making it very difficult for these melee to actually chase him down. And this strategy ABC is kind of known for, crowd control up the DPS, go on to the healer. I can't help but wonder if Minpoike is going to be playing that Balance Affinity once again.
Yeah, that's a good question. We'll have to see when the extension updates. I wouldn't be surprised to see him go over to the Guardian because, I mean, honestly, the Balance Affinity, it wasn't necessarily super beneficial. I mean, it's great because, you know, in the Mighty Bash war between the two Druids, you have a bit more range, makes it easier, especially where both teams are guaranteed to have the same ping, since we're in a live environment, that Minpoike should win those battles, but it's a risk the way that ABC likes to play Rogue Mage, definitely a risk. So we'll have to see the Mind Bomb coming out onto Asgraf, the crowd control early. They're putting more attention over onto Nixie earlier in this game, whereas last game they went on Alec. I think this is better in terms of winning mana. It might even be better in terms of winning the game. See the step coming in, double smoke bomb both teams. The mind controls coming in from Vilay, not really going to get the kill here, but they forced a lot of cooldowns.
Yeah, they got evasion, they got Cloak of Shadows. Those are long cooldowns. Nixie's going to be vulnerable. He still has his trinket. Asgaroth does not. So if Change My Mind, they can get one crowd control. You can see Vilay's positioning in a way where he's dispelling off the heal over time effects on Nixie, looking to get close, potentially looking for some crowd control. Acro moving forward, but a beautiful snare from that Ray of Frost makes it difficult. And Poike in a good position. You can tell ABC, they're anticipating this next swap. Nixie just behind the pillar. He knows he's vulnerable. He doesn't want to give Change My Mind any openings.
Yeah, and the thing is, the longer Nixie just kind of stands out, he's also burning Asgraf's mana, because unlike the mage who has like the kind of dispel protection from, you know, the ice barrier and things like this, Nixie's basically naked beyond the heal over time effects coming out of Asgraf, and those are just getting purged off consistently. Asgraf needs to apply those because that's how he heals. It's how he preempts, you know, the silence mind bomb combinations. You see a swap here over onto Alec because Nixie has been playing so defensively, but now that Nixie's back in the open, I'd love to see them just get damage onto him as much as possible. He seems to be the one that they get the most pressure on, but they need to be careful since Acro also traded out, you know, the Vanish, Cloak of Shadows, the evasion, the trinket. He has nothing left either. It's really a very cutthroat series, this one.
Yeah, there's no question about it. And Minpoike is playing that balance affinity, so if ABC decides to make a swap on him, they could really punish that talent choice on the side of Minpoike. Now full kidney shot onto Vilay with a Cyclone on Minpoike. It does fade. Vilay should be able to survive this, and that's one of the strengths of the Shadow Priest is you have really low cooldown defensives. Not only do you have Dispersion, you have the Greater Fade, and these are really good abilities for avoiding damage and surviving. And I think it's one of the reasons why teams have just really struggled taking down Vilay in these matchups so far.
Yep, and that's happening once again here. We see damage, though, coming out over onto Minpoike. He's free healing. He is playing that balance affinity once again. We can see the blind trinketed by Minpoike. Nice play. Vanish comes out from Nixie. He's looking to make some plays. Cheap shot. No follow, though. Good Garrote from Acro. Trade Vanish for Vanish. We see now maybe a swap over onto Nixie. Big damage coming in. Ironbark answers from Asgraf, who's down to about 40% of that mana resource. Healing will become a problem soon. Even the Star Surges coming in from Minpoike, superstar on the day. Vilay under pressure, needs to get topped off though. Does have that dispersion, does have that greater fade, so he should be fine for now.
Yeah, I think he will be able to survive, and Vilay holding onto that trinket, he knows he needs to save it for that Void Shift, and Poike was in so much trouble earlier on. Vilay barely got off that Void Shift in game number 1 to keep him alive. Unfortunately, he did end up falling, but still, Vilay partnering those two cooldowns is going to be very important for his team to survive. Nixie under pressure right now. Both teams playing a lot more cautious in game number 2 than game number 1. Potentially, you realize how vulnerable both of these rogues are, and they don't want to give the enemy team any edge.
Yeah, and I mean, the advantage both these teams have had is that they have been under no pressure all tournament. Now that they've both beaten heavy favorites for the tournament, they're going to feel like there is a bit of pressure here. You know, this is an easier matchup for both of them in terms of the betting books. So you would think that ABC and Change My Mind both fancy their chances here. They both don't want to throw the game, so they're playing, you know, a little bit more cautiously, like you said, Ben. And sometimes that's not actually good. Sometimes going for those risky plays helps. We see a big swap over onto Minpoike. Barkskin, Cyclone onto Vilay. It looks like he wants to hold on to the Void Shift anyways. Does have the trinket. He's been playing more carefully, like you said, holding on to that cooldown. Cyclone coming out. Minpoike, counterspell forced. Good crowd control from ABC. You can really start to see they're in their element, but mana is still a problem.
Yeah, this is the problem when you go up against an experienced Frost Mage Restoration Druid. There's a lot of control, but you can see one of the things that aren't going in ABC's favor is the fact that Asgraf's mana is really bad, and on this small map, it's so difficult for him to sneak away, try to drink, and recover that mana. That definitely will be an edge for Change My Mind as we have just stepped foot into dampening. Triple crowd control onto the team of Change My Mind, interrupt on Minpoike, Cyclone on Vilay. He actually trinkets out to continue the crowd control chain. They want to try to take down Nixie. He's got no trinket, no Cloak of Shadows. Vanish trades out to survive. Triple cheap shot coming in from Nixie, but a nice kidney shot from Acro. Nixie's in a lot of trouble. Can he survive? Asgrath spamming out some casts. Nixie shadow steps away, but Mind Control keeps him locked down, trying to bring him back in the open, but that gets shut down by Alec. Close call for Nixie.
Yeah, that was actually expertly dealt with by ABC there. I thought they changed my mind and set up everything perfectly. They forced the Ironbark, they forced the evasion, went for the Vendetta play, but Alec, great crowd control, like you say. So frustrating to play against these mage druids. When they want to live, they're hard to kill. Asgraf, though, still low on mana, down to 5%. Resources low on the side of ABC here on Hook Point. This small map playing into the advantage of the team that chose it. Changed my mind. Kidney shot onto Acro, blind, trinketed by Mimpoike. Good play from him, respecting the damage. Still triple CCs though, they're looking for the Ring of Frost. Nicely played. Asgraf and Alec come together again, both rogues at about 20% health. Safeguards proc on both sides here.
Yep, Acro, Shadow Meld on the Maledict. Now a Chief Shot on to Nixie. Can he take him down? There's a Kidney Shot bash on Asgraf, and keep in mind, Asgraf, he's got no mana left. Nixie's low. Both these rogues could fall at any moment. Cloak of Shadow's now available for Nixie. Acro has to hold on just a little bit longer. Beautiful Vortex there, keeping Acro locked down. Beautiful plays coming in from Asgarath. And ABC up in this series 2-0.
I mean, it's kicked from both of those rosters. Can he manage to get his revenge, to get his justice? He needs to get a reverse sweep to do it. Will Poike find justice?
I'm not sure. ABC is on fire in this matchup so far. All three members have been making sick plays. It seems like they have just perfect communication, coordination, and execution with their strategies. I think this is going to be a really difficult game for Change My Mind to take down.
I think it's going to be difficult. I think if I was to put a tiny little critique on anything from Change My Mind, it would be maybe Villi could be running the crit haste build here. We saw him running it a little bit yesterday. Since they're not going for him as the main kill target, he doesn't need the versatility. The reason you play versatility haste is to avoid dying. You know, you get damage reduction, but the crit haste is much more damage overall, and their win condition is ooming Asgraf, so maybe they could swap over to that with the Spiteful Apparition as a right trade, something that they might have considered since Acrolaws has died in the last 2 games. But that said, we see early pressure onto Alec. They're swapping back to him a little bit, and maybe they also feel like they put too much pressure onto Nixie. He's a bit of a bait. It's hard to actually take down the rogue even if you can get him low.
Yeah, and they actually are going after Villi this game. Kidney Shot, Smoke Bomb, Cheap Shot, and Poike into a bash. This could be the dispersion, is forced out, but a Maledict. Villi could be in a little bit of trouble right now. He cancels the dispersion. It's Power Word shield up. He's trying to just line of sight some damage the best he can, looking for a Shadow Man, but he's still in trouble. Poike still in CC. If this is the Void Shift, this is disastrous for Change My Mind.
Yeah, it's not looking fantastic. Acrolaw's also low. We see the Void Shift traded out there from Villi. Both these players low on health right now. Mimpoike's got some work to do. They should be able to survive. The Vampiric Embrace as well from Villi. DR Polymorph, so much crowd control. ABC are really finding their stride. I was saying during the break, like, these guys, they're not looking like a 4th place team from Europe. And last time we had a Spring Finals 2018, it was the 4th seed Reformed that were able to win that tournament. ABC looking to follow that checklist, follow that suit. Asgraf and Alec are really catching fire. And, you know, a team that doesn't practice so much, the more they play, the more tournament games they get under their belt, the more they're going to improve. And they might even start to challenge Method Black and C9 if they come off this series 3-0.
I mean, they definitely could. ABC has so much experience under their belt. These 3 players won BlizzCon together. I mean, 2 years ago, these guys were owning it up in the BlizzCon finals and became the BlizzCon champion. Now Mind Bomb onto Asgarath. Alec forced into his first ice block of the match. Temporal Shield gets dispelled. Nicely done by Villi. Changed My Mind. Starting to find some pressure in this match. And like I kind of talked about, you go after the Shadow Priest. Sure, you know, they get the dispersion, they get the fade, but those cooldowns, they rotate up so quickly that Villi has all those defensives once again. Whereas for Alec, ice block, 4-minute cooldown, cold snap, 5-minute cooldown. So it takes a little bit longer for those cooldowns to really rotate back up.
Yeah, I mean, it's actually kind of greedy from Alec to not use that cold snap. Maybe he's kind of saving it so he can do a double ice barrier play later in the game, but the longer he holds onto that cold snap, assuming they force another block in the next 4 minutes, which I think is fairly likely if they tunnel Alec, it's just going to mean that his 3rd ice block is going to rotate up much slower. So interesting play coming out of Alec in this situation. ABC, though, still in good situation. They force another trinket off of Mimpoike. Their overall pressure has been much higher this game, as is shown by the mana pools. Mimpoike, who has traditionally been doing much better than Asgraf, is actually having a fantastic game on mana, or having a much worse game on mana right now, down to 50%.
Yeah, mana not doing so well. Asgarath, what is he going to be able to do? Actually, it's relatively even, so we'll have to see exactly how this plays out. Nixie's still on Mimpoike, and one thing I like about the way ABC is playing this is they're kind of all over the place. They go on Mimpoike, let's go on to Villi, drop the Smoke Bomb. Okay, now Acro's looking good. Like, they're not just doing the same strategy all game. They're really keeping Change My Mind guessing, but things are looking good for Change My Mind. They get the second ice block. Alec is really vulnerable. On this map, there's not too many places he can run and hide. In the open, he will be for most of the game. And Valet, if he can get those offensive dispels out, it's really difficult for Asgrath to actually top him off. Smoke bomb, kidney shot. Alec with a double shimmer, looking to get away, as far away as possible from Acro, but Acro reconnects. Alec gets interrupted. Asgroth with the Iron Bark dispel. Can he keep Alec alive? There is no shimmer available for Alec. He just has to spam out the polymorphs. There's a lot of crowd control, a lot of damage out as they make a swap over on him in Poike. And it seems like whenever Alec's in trouble, what they try to do is just pressure him in Poike. That allows Alec and Asgrath some freedom. Just throw out polymorphs, throw out Cyclone without really limiting the pressure that they have over on to Change My Mind.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I honestly feel like it's starting to be the target change that was the big thing for Change My Mind here. Alec just seems so much better. No trinket, no ice blocks for 5 minutes on Alec. He temporal shields, kites behind the pillar. He's not going to die on this attempt, but I'm pretty sure Asgrath trinketed a kidney shot, meaning that the blind may well be available momentarily for Acrolols. That Vendetta, scary cooldown from the Assassination Rogue is also available. Here comes the kidney shot. Good Iron Bark, but no Vendetta committed. This could be the play that they needed. No Iron Bark, no Ice Block, no Trinket. Any CC could potentially win the game for Change My Mind.
Yep, full polymorph on him in Poike. Valet looking for a mass dispel, but unfortunately caught into the kidney shot. Now Alec looking to get aggressive, looking for a polymorph, manages to find it. Valet with the Greater Fade, but the Ray of Frost goes through it, and Valet takes a huge hit of damage, forced into the dispersion. Now Valet's in some trouble. Nice Cyclone from Asgroth, frees him up. Doesn't allow him to actually top off Valet. He's stuck in that, and now a Cyclone on him in Poike. This crowd control from ABC has been insane, and Valet, he's still in a lot of trouble. There's no dispersion, there's no Greater Fade, there's no Void Shift. He gets interrupted, huge burst damage from Alec, when Poike trying to hold on.
Yep, we see the kidney shot, the smoke bomb, trinket comes out from Villi. Their offense has been turned into defense by ABC. Excellent plays from the former BlizzCon champions here. They're looking to put the final nail in the coffin, the final resting place, if you will, for Change My Mind in the Spring Finals 2019. Cyclones pausing the game. Both these Resto Druids are main Resto Druids. They're playing fantastically. You can tell why Europe really likes these Restoration Druid metas. They've been doing such a good job. Now we see the silence into the Mind Bomb, trying to set up damage onto Alec, but since they have so much momentum, he's able to use those Sheep DRs on the DPS now that he's in trouble. Sheeps up Acro, gets the Ring of Frost, cross CC once again, ABC on fire.
Yep, 3v1 situation. Valet, what are you gonna do? Comet Storm lands onto Valet, still trying to kite away, and Poike does manage to find the Iron Bark, and that should keep Valet alive at 9% dampening. Things are gonna start really becoming difficult for both of these Resto Druids. Kitty shot on Alec. You can see he's got a minute left on that ice block. If they can hold on, I'm not sure if they're going to be able to do it though. Asgrath is completely tapped on mana. Finally an Innervate coming back up. He will top off Alec, keep him fully hotted up, and that will allow them to survive, but you think they're going to be able to live another minute?
Yeah, I mean, we've got a bit of that reset happening now. You know, the ice block not available just yet, but Asgrath's trinket did rotate back up. Blind was used defensively onto Nixie, so they don't even have that to force it. Villi dropping low. We'll have to trade out something here. The dispersion coming out on very low health. This is the blind setup from Mimpoike. He trinketed earlier in the game. Void Shift is available, but no trinket from Villi. They're trying to kill before it. Void Shift rotates up. They get it into Mimpoike at the nick of time here. ABC forcing cooldowns left, right, and center. Here comes the kidney shot, but unfortunately, Alex sheeped him before it, so Mimpoike is not as low health as he would have been. Now the DR bash, but they're not going to get the kill. Maybe a slight misplay on the side of ABC, but they're so far ahead, I'm not convinced it matters.
Asgrath had such an insane play. He dropped a Vortex on top of Mimpoike, and Valet tried to life grip him or use that Leap of Faith into a Frozen Orb. That would have broke the crowd control, but he completely denied it with that play. Now Alec getting low, the silence. No way!
Unbelievable.
1 second left, less than 1 second left. Change My Mind is able to put a point on the board. That
Change My Mind was able to pull out one more miracle. Do they have another one in the bag, or is ABC going to be able to squash this dream run?
Yeah, we'll definitely have to see. Change My Mind. That was a really close game for them, but they managed to do it. This could be their miracle run. ABC can't believe they didn't win that last game. We'll have to see what exactly goes down. I mean, Alec was forced into his first ice block so early on, didn't manage to get that third one out. And like you said, Adrian, if he had just cold snapped potentially a little bit earlier, he would have had that ice block and they could have easily won the game. So those kind of calculations you really have to consider when trying to be greedy with those cooldowns.
Yeah, and actually both teams had an amazing opener last game because they got an early Void Shift out of Vilay at the start of the last game. Ended up rotating back, fortunately for them, because Mimpoike definitely needed it at a later point in the game. It's one of those things where, you know, the game goes long, you never quite know, but I do think the big theme for Change My Mind was the fact that they've focused their attention on Alec. Now it's much easier to shut down the damage from a mage if Acro sits on him versus tunneling Nixie. So good play from Change My Mind, good strategy adaptation in game 3, and it definitely helped them through.
Yeah, Acro finds the sap onto Asgarath, Valet into a kidney shot. Alex just trying to play it very patient right now, out of line of sight. I like what Alec is doing. His positioning, he's always just out of line of sight of Valet. As long as Valet can't dispel his Ice Barrier, dispel those heal over time effects, he's going to be able to be a lot more durable in this matchup. But when he's in kidney shot, this is when he's susceptible. You can see Nixie getting the growth silence onto Valet, wants to slow him down just a little bit. Mind Bomb on Asgarath. Unfortunately, doesn't go off. Because of that, now Alex can be completely fine. Now, ABC looking for crowd control. Find the bash on him in Poike. Kidney shot onto Vlaze. Is there any follow-up? Ring of Frost gets interrupted. Full Cyclone, though, comes in from Asgarath. And now, Vlaze in some trouble. Yep,
he's definitely in a bit of trouble. The Dispersion will come out to answer that. Nice play from Vilay. Respecting the damage, not using it too low. This was a Maledict push as well. Now we see Blind over onto Asgarath. Will he respect the damage? They're going to have to force him to use it. There's no Vanish from Acrolaws. He used his Sap Vanish Sap combo off of a Mind Bomb earlier, so Asgarath just going to happily sit through that blind. Nice read from him, knowing that his mage was fine to kite that. Nixie was in no trouble whatsoever, so good sit, mana even. Vilay definitely a couple of cooldowns down, does have that greater fade and Void Shift though.
Yeah, does have a lot of defensive cooldowns he can work with at this point in the game. Nixie got into a cheap shot. Acro looking to find the pressure onto Alec. Can they get that Precious Ice Block? That was a trinket of Alec, so that's a big defensive cooldown and allows him to get out of a full kidney shot at some point in the game, and he just used that. So the next kidney shot will be full. I believe Acro still has a Smoke Bomb. Vendetta rotating back up, and they can get a kidney shot with Smoke Bomb with Vendetta. It could easily be the first Ice Block out of Alec. In the meantime, Poike into a Ring of Frost, into a Sap. Nice crowd control from ABC once again. Acro trying to help out Valet the best he can. That's the Void Shift. Valet still in a lot of trouble. He doesn't have any defensives up whatsoever. He's getting teed off on by Alec. Finally a full kidney shot coming in from Acro, trying to slow down ABC just a little bit, but that was a big cooldown exchange from Change My Mind.
Yeah, and actually it followed up with excellent defensive play from ABC. The Cyclone onto Vilay, counteracting completely the Smoke Bomb from Acrolaws, followed up by the Iron Bark. Once again, Alec, who had to, like you say, use both his Ice Blocks very early last game, has had a much more good defensive game so far as well. And honestly, this game has been all ABC. They've adapted very well to this kind of tunneling of Alec. They're going back to basics, tunneling down Vilay on the Shadow Priest, and it's been going very well for them. We see the Sap now land onto Mimpoike off that blind trinket. Comes through the Master Spell, I think, also used from Vilay. Not sure that was 100% necessary, but shouldn't matter too much. Low Cyclone once again from Asgarath. Both these teams just playing excellently.
Yeah, I mean, there's no question about it at this point. Top 4 finishes for both these teams. Miracle runs for both of them as well. They want to continue that miracle run, and one of these teams absolutely will. It's looking good for ABC so far. Change My Mind looking to reverse sweep ABC. Can they do it? There's the Polymorph on him in Poike. Cyclone on Acro. The control's been good from ABC so far. This is a Vendetta from Nixie as well. They're trying to get super aggressive onto Valet, but struggling to kind of find the damage at this point. Alec with a Ray of Frost gets Garrote silenced. Asgarath still finding the Cyclone. Not for ABC. It just seems like they really want to focus on Valet. There's a Smoke Bomb, Comet Storm, Ice Nova. Everything traded out by Alec and Nixie to try to force that dispersion, but they are unable to get it. They realize the kill is lost, so Asgarath just wants to deny some of that heals from Mimpoike with a beautiful offensive Cyclone.
Yeah, this is actually a really evenly fought match. Like, there's more control on the side of ABC. That's one of their advantages. Also, the fact that they play the Kleptomania on Alec means that Mimpoike has to overgroove consistently, which is a very expensive spell for the Druid. 6,000 mana down the drain every single time Alec uses that Kleptomania, so that's a bit scary. We see he's actually locked down on Shadow here. Barely gets that dispersion off. He might die. There's grey health coming in from the Maledict. Barely stays alive. A beautiful counter spell coming in. Isn't going to be able to see the Great Silence. Vilay, his tournament life on the line. He does go down. ABC top 3 in the spring finals. Black, 70% of you think Method Black have the edge. There's only one way to find out.
right, we've got the 2017 BlizzCon champions reunited ABC. That's Asgarath, that's Alec, and that's Nixie. Method Black, they're looking to take a BlizzCon championship for themselves this year. If they can win this series in the next, they'll have a spot at the World Finals later this year. That is Chaz, Raikou, and Swapsy on your screen, playing that Mage, Warlock, Restoration, Druid. And if ABC can overcome Method Black with this composition, potentially this is a solid answer for Cloud9. This is Nagrand Arena, a blind pick, so neither team knew it was coming their way, and I was anticipating these compositions or the other set, which is the Ellie Mage and the Demon Hunter Death Knight, so I'm not surprised by this pick, but I'm not entirely sold that Method Black's composition is guaranteed victory.
I definitely don't think it is guaranteed victory. I think ABC, with the way they've been playing Rogue Mage Druid, definitely have a shot in this matchup. They just need to make sure they are shutting down Swapsy as much as possible. Raikou has been having good control in the matchup so far, looking for Frostbolt damage, trying to pressure down Alec, kind of swat him away. Chaz gets the re-stealth, moves in, rake stun on Alec, bash on Asgarath. Right now, Method Black's looking to get aggressive, but Nixie with the smoke bomb with the kidney shot completely shuts down Swapsy.
Big hits here for ABC. Although Asgarath is in crowd control, it's actually Swapsy who has taken some hits. No crowd control onto Chaz, however, so they can't capitalize and push forward for a kill with this Vendetta early on from Nixie. Now that the Vendetta threat is out of the way, it's up to Alec. He's got to be the one, the playmaker with that Icy Vein shortly. When is he going to decide to activate it is now the question. Looking for crowd control, but not finding it. Raikou being locked out for some time in this position as Swapsy continues to be hammered down by Nixie. Asgarath gets stunned by Chaz. Chaz sets up crowd control for the team. 3-on-2 here with Alec and Nixie left open. Chaos Bolt's flying in, but not enough damage really to push Nixie over the edge just yet.
Yeah, Raikou still trying to find some pressure onto Nixie. He's been holding on to that Cloak of Shadows, a very crucial defensive cooldown. Swapsy once again into the kidney shot. It's been good denial from ABC so far in this matchup. Asgarath is actually playing the Balance Affinity, so he's going to be able to sit in that Moonkin form and avoid Polymorph incoming from Raikou. The only way Raiku's really going to get too much crowd control is if Chaz moves in, assists him with a bash or a rake stun. That way Raikou can get a Ring of Frost out of that and start getting some control rolling onto Asgarath in this matchup. But both teams are looking very stable so far.
Yeah, both teams looking solid in the lower bracket. This is an elimination match between the last two European teams of the tournament, that of ABC and Method Black. It's going to be a best of 5. Winner of this gets a rematch, guaranteed second place, but it is that coveted first place position that all these teams are competing for, as it is a guaranteed slot to the Arena World Championship World Finals at BlizzCon later this year, and $50,000. Alec forced into an ice block early on as a result of Swapsy's crowd control. Cooldown lead for Method Black, but mana in favor of ABC. Need to stabilize here through the burst of Raikou. Alec really feeling it, but has managed to recover now. Chaz and Asgarath going at each other in the back line. Chaz caught in a bash. Where's the follow-up? Looks like they're swapping. Kidney shot out of the bash. How much damage do they have? Is it enough to find a kill? Doesn't look like it. Chaz stabilizes.
Yeah, nice Swift Man. I believe that was a Hellstone as well, and that's one of the benefits of having a Warlock on your team is you do get that Hellstone, which can help you survive a very sticky situation. Chaz, of course, going to be using that. Now Asgarath into a Polymorph, as done by Raikou, using his Icy Veins once again. Nixie could be in some trouble. Gladiator Safeguard procs, as well as the Iron Bark from Asgarath. They're trying to get some pressure on Swapsy, but they just have not found the damage. Raiku's been getting out a lot of control. There just hasn't been too much crowd control on Chaz so far in this matchup, and things are actually looking pretty good for Method Black.
Asgarath in crowd control. Alec isolated by Method Black. It's looking clean here in game number 1. Alec manages to narrowly escape with a blink to the pillar. Next to Asgarath. Innervate activated. No dispel on that, so Asgarath starts to develop a significant mana lead. Method Black are just pressing pause. Polymorphing Alec, trying to figure out what's their next game plan. Looks like they want to go after Nixie, having realized his Cloak of Shadows is on cooldown for another minute and 22 seconds, roughly. He is more vulnerable than Alec. Now Iron Bark has been placed by Asgarath, realizing that vulnerability, so Nixie will stabilize. Method Black may look to switch to an alternate target, choosing to polymorph Nixie, slow down, wait for the Iron Bark to fade. Method Black are always maximizing their damage, not wasting a single point into damage reduction, and overall looking good with this Mage Warlock. If they do advance to face Cloud9, it will be a treat to watch them go head-to-head with the same composition.
Look at mana for both these Druids. Chaz went to go for a re-stealth, went to go for a drink, but Nixie was watching, managed to land a distract. Now Chaz once again sitting down a stealth. This is going to be a disaster for ABC. with his positioning right now, Chaz just has a massive advantage. He actually recovers a ton of his mana. This is not good for ABC. Asgrath has to do the same at some point of the game, or Method Black will eventually have that mana lead, which could secure them the game.
All right, Nixie, what are you going to do? Iron Bar from Asgrath, but he's still bashed. Any Chaos Bolts here, maybe find a kill. Swapsy's not even going for it. Maybe he's out of Soul Shards. Unfortunate timing there for Method Black, but Dampening has entered. Method Black now have the mana lead. They have the cooldown lead, and if they can win the blind pick, then they will have the swing match advantage. Method Black continue advancing forward. Momentum even in their favor now as well as they look to push for the second ice block. Do they have enough damage to find it? Chaz jumps in to add into the mix, and with Chaz's extra damage, they're just going to kill him. Big mistakes by Alec in game one, and Method Black have the swing match advantage.
Yep, Method Black able to pull through there. An unfortunate incident there for Alec. I think the Maldic must have hit at the same time as a bite or something. Going into Dalaran Sewers.
The map could also be a takeaway from Method Black's DK, DH, Resto Druid. I mean, let's not forget, these guys have a lot of melee cleaves at their disposal. It's going to be interesting to see how the matchup plays out.
Yeah, for the rest of the series, we may actually see both teams switch compositions moving forward. It's all dependent on ABC. Can the Mage Elemental defeat what is looking to be a seemingly impossible composition to beat? Mage Warlock. Method Black had phenomenal performance in game number one, but can they keep it up against ABC and then even further keep it up against Cloud9?
No, I mean, we're definitely going to have to wait and see. Chaz with the Innervate looking to get it on top of things with his mana. Raikou gets topped off. For ABC, it's going to be all about control on Swapsy. Not sure who they're going to be going after in this matchup. Potentially Raikou just wanting to limit his damage. He could get caught in a big Earthshock crit like we saw Wealthy Man really have to deal with. That can happen at any moment when you're dealing with a good Elemental Shaman like Jamie. I think as the game progresses, if we do move forward into Dampening, that's when Swapsy is going to be a vulnerability for his team. But at this point, it's too difficult to take down a Destruction Warlock with the amount of self-healing that they have.
Raikou pushing forward in defiance despite that Lightning Lasso pressure. Method Black repositioning Chaz in the back line. Looking like he wants to drink even though he's almost at 100% mana anyway. Maybe it's almost a bait, and it doesn't look like ABC are going to fall for that. They're not going to be running across the battlefield to stop a drink at what is already effectively a full mana restoration druid. Both teams playing it out to stall at the moment. Jamie tossing out some damage onto both Raikou and now Swapsy, trying to spread damage on two targets so that Chaz will run out of mana more rapidly. Chaz moves forward to set up a stun for his team. Ursul's Vortex holds Jamie in midfield. He thunderstorms Swapsy out of line of sight, narrowly ducking around the corner to avoid those Gladiators Maledicts committed by Method Black. And now that those Gladiators Maledicts are on cooldown, I would like to see see ABC get more aggressive. Although their entire team is under pressure, they don't have anything going for them at the moment.
Yeah, right now, ABC, things are not looking good. You just have Swapsy in their face, getting cast off, getting crowd control, getting damage. Maybe they have to start going after Swapsy, even though he's a difficult target to take down. They need to be limiting the amount of crowd control and damage he is able to put out. If we look at mana, Chaz sitting at around 75%, 80% right now. Asgrath, I'm not exactly sure. We'll have to wait and see until he gets out of cat form, but it looks like there is a slight mana lead for Method Black, even though pressure seems in favor, or a slight mana lead for ABC, even though pressure seems in favor of Method Black.
All right, mana more and more developing a lead for Method Black. I'm not sure if this Elemental Frost Mage is really the answer to this composition. We did see victory found with the double Shaman Rogue on the small maps. ABC could potentially play that, but we haven't seen Asgarath really play anything other than his Druid throughout the tournament and the spring season so far. So maybe it's just not prepared and ready for this event here today, which is unfortunate because it could have been effective. Pressure on both Alec and Swapsy at this moment in time. Both Chaz and Asgarath reluctant to commit their Iron Barks just yet. Chaz gets away with it, and so does Asgarath, but Chaz gets away with it with more mana, and as that mana lead starts to grow, Method Black's confidence grows with it.
I mean, Method Black, they have to be feeling good in this situation. Swapsy is dipping a little bit low. He's going to be throwing out a gateway and using it to escape danger once to get off those boxes, as ABC is finally starting to generate some pressure. Raikou now throwing out some polymorphs, trying to control up the game just a little bit. Asgrath into a bash. Chaz, is there any follow-up crowd control? You can see him sort of ripping in, trying to build up some combo points so he can assist his team at a later date. See exactly how it plays out.
All right, let's see how it plays out as we get closer to Dampening. Jamie denied on the lightning lasso by Raikou. Good teamwork to save his friend Swapsy. Moving forward, I'm curious to see how much pressure Jamie can get out, because the Earth Shock really has been the only thing we've seen to pressure these mages. Jamie, the member of the team that has that ability in his arsenal, see what he can get done. Lining up a Stormkeeper, looks like a swap. They're going to be going after Chaz, the healer of Method Black. He just walks it off with a bark skin, able to easily deny that swap and any pressure in the favor of ABC. We do see Polymorph spanned up by Alec, looking to control Swapsy, slow down the game and stall, but I'm not sure if stalling is going to be beneficial for ABC.
Actually, I was just taking a little look at the build. Obviously, I play a lot of Resto Druid, and it's interesting. Asgrath is playing the Freedom Shroom against the Magelock Druid, so his team's able to be more mobile and actually chase them around. Chaz is running that build we talked about earlier, the full haste versatility of the Master Shapeshifter. So as Dampening starts to build up, we can expect to see some Cubsy-like plays, the all-aggression coming out from Chaz later in this game.
Yeah, that could also be why Asgrath is running out of mana faster, as the Freedom Shroom is the Efflorescence ability, the most expensive heal for the Druid. So if Asgrath is placing it, you see that green circle with a mushroom in the middle of it. If he's placing that a lot and frequently, it's going to tap his mana more rapidly. So while it does give mobility, it is a mana cost, and potentially ABC should hold out on utilizing it until deeper into dampening.
Yeah, I mean, definitely interesting to see the difference between the two builds. Chaz getting caught into a bash. Double Mortal Coil coming in from Swapsy. And one thing we haven't seen from Method Black that we saw from Cloud9 is sort of an all-in attempt with the bash, with the Infernal Sun, with the Mortal Coil. All damage, guns ablaze. Method Black has yet to pull that off, and I feel like they could do that to Asgrath. They can get crowd control onto Jamie, Polymorph on Alec. They could go all in and easily take down Asgrath with all their cooldowns.
All right, let's see if they can. That is definitely an option for them. We've seen Restoration Druids get annihilated in swaps from this Mage Warlock composition. Swapsy, he's got Dark Soul activated, that purple icon that's glowing, his health bar on fire. That does indicate that his damage is maximized, and if he's able to cast Chaos Bolt during this period of time, there's going to be a lot of trouble. Jamie, realizing this, is trying to crowd control Swapsy, which prevents him from casting damage, and is able to escape a situation that would have otherwise cost very big cooldowns to stay alive. So ABC, with good awareness there, denying the Dark Soul of Swapsy.
Yeah. See what happens. Raikou in a little bit of a defensive position right now. Chaz in full retreat. Mana still in favor of Method Black. Jamie gets caught into a Mortal Coil. Swapsy looking for a fear, manages to find it. Alec already out of line of sight. Well, all 6 of these players are very cautious in this matchup. They don't want to take unnecessary damage, but there's a fine line, because you want to be doing damage yourself. You can't be just avoiding damage the whole game. You have to make yourself a little bit vulnerable if you want to try to pressure down the enemy team.
Jamie at half. Asgrath's mana not looking too good here. How are ABC going to pull it off? Their Rogue Mage Druid, it didn't work. If their Mage Elemental Shaman Druid doesn't work, these are their 2 best compositions. Perhaps we see a Windwalker Mage. That's the only other composition that I feel they've maximized and prepared for the tournament today. So ABC, they're in a tough position. It's a best of 5 and they face elimination. They'll go home in 3rd place. No opportunity at that BlizzCon World Finals if they can't pull it off, but Alec has been playing out of his mind throughout the day, so perhaps the mastermind can find a plan, find a way to make it out and find victory against Method Black here in the lower bracket final.
Yeah, somehow, some way, ABC could surprise us all and take down Method Black, but so far, Method Black up in the first game. And Dalaran Sewers, this is the compositional pick as well as the map pick for ABC. There's going to be an opportunity for them to bounce back in the series. This would be it. Raikou caught in midfield. 1 Maledict's going to land a second. Raikou actually one of the only mages in the tournament who's not playing Night Elf. So I think that's an interesting decision. Wealthy Man, I believe, as well. A lot of these players are opting to play Night Elf for that Shadow Meld Racial, as it is an effective counter to the Maledict Trinket. If Maledict Trinket is used on you, you can use that Night Elf Racial to sort of slow it down, immune the effect, and you get a lot of value out of it.
Definitely an important racial to have, being the Shadow Meld with that new PvP trinket coming into play with Battle for Azeroth Season 2. And you can check all of the gear using the app attached to the stream if you want to inspect them and figure out what talents the players are running, what gear they're running, so you too can use the best options that the best players use in World of Warcraft. That is at your disposal. Chaz being swapped to here by Jamie. Big damage supported as well, but at the same time, Raikou is owning Alec. He's pinned down. He can't support. It's Jamie versus Chaz. It's Raikou and Swapsy versus Alec and Asgarath. A 1-on-1 and a 2-on-2 as these teams collide deep into dampening.
Yeah, 24% dampening at this point. Sparks are going to fly. Ironbark is committed over onto Raikou. He's still taking decent burst damage. He needs to be careful. Big burst from Jamie. That's what I'm talking about. This Elemental Shaman burst damage is insane. Raikou barely holding on. A lot of these mages are pulling a page from me. Dying without Ice Block. They need to be careful. That was a close call for Raikou. Moving forward out of the Ice Block, he's still in a little bit of trouble. And I really feel like that's one of the reasons why this comp is strong, is you just have such unexpected damage. The Purge from the Mage, as well as the Elemental Shaman, can just really surprise these enemy Mage Druids. We'll have to see if it pays off for them. Still, decent mana lead here for Chaz. Almost moving forward to 30% dampening. Now Alec in a little bit of trouble as all three members of Method Black push in.
I mean, look at the mana. It's not looking good on either side, but ABC have the Ice Block lead with 2 in their pocket, whereas Raikou only has 1, so they do have the advantage in terms of cooldowns. Chaz gets swapped to ABC, continuing to mix it up deeper into dampening, trying to make Chaz make a mistake. If they could potentially commit his Ironbark to him and then switch targets to Raikou and get the second Ice Block, they're almost certainly guaranteed victory if they can achieve this, but they're not finding that opportunity. Chaz repositions, avoids any further attack. Asgarath jumping back, looking to try and avoid crowd control. Swapsy casting Chaos Bolts onto Jamie. He repositions at the box. Alex line of sighting at the ramp, not wanting to stack up for a triple Frozen Orb or potentially a triple Infernal Stun. So Swapsy's waiting. He's got that cooldown, and that's going to ramp his damage up heavily if he can find an opportunity. Infernals have landed. Swapsy wants to go, go, go. Gets denied on one Chaos Bolt, and for the next couple of seconds, it's all about stopping Swapsy.
Yeah, Asgarath completely tapped on mana. He gets interrupted. Alec forced into an Ice Block, has the Cold Snap, activates that immediately to get that cooldown rolling, but I think it's unlikely it comes back up. Both of these mages, 1 Ice Block left. What is going to happen? You can see Swapsy gets knocked away by that Thunderstorm. Jamie still putting the pressure up, and this is where Swapsy becomes a vulnerability for his team. If Alec and Jamie can keep up the pressure, Swapsy could easily fall. He's gotten to the Lightning Lasso. He's in midfield. Asgarath barely holding on for his team. Method Black has good spread pressure right now, but Swapsy just such a big vulnerability. He's trying to slowly walk in with those Frost Mage snares to get some pressure rolling. Lands a Shadow Fear, looking for a Chaos Bolt. Alec gets out of line of sight to avoid that damage, but Raikou just with so much pressure is cleaving down all 3 members of ABC. Alec gets locked out. Another Ice Block forced out. Things are falling apart here for ABC.
Raikou at the same moment in time is getting destroyed by Jamie, but it's still momentum in favor of Method Black. There's pressure across the board, and Asgarath has absolutely no mana and absolutely no cooldowns left to deal with it. Method Black, all they have to do is push forward and end this. They're going to be moving to match point if they can do so. Just a bit more damage. Alec barely holding on, blinking back to Asgarath's side. Jamie left out in center field. Swapsy moves in. He gets bashed up. 1 Chaos Bolt straight to the face. Where's the second? Ebon Bolt. Still pressure on 2 players. No mana. Asgarath, how are you doing this in the face of 42% dampening, reducing that healing by 42%. Ray of Frost channeled out by Raikou. Chaos Bolt flies in and connects. Method Black move to match point here against ABC in the lower bracket final.
Wow. Hook Point could be the destination that sends us there.
Yep, here on Hook Point, and just like Captain Hook, ABC's clock might be up. 2-0 lead, match point. Method Black look to close it out for a rematch, and you can tell that they want it right now, just slapping around ABC.
Yeah, they have been doing work on ABC so far. ABC has really struggled to find pressure. They had a few moments with the Frost Mage Elemental Shaman, but it seems like that composition just relies on dampening. What ABC wants in this game is a small map where they can utilize that Rogue Mage Druid cross crowd control, try to get pressure onto Swapsy. Alec moves forward, looking for crowd control on Chaz, manages to find it. Ray of Frost, but it gets feared away immediately. Nicely done by Swapsy. Now with Chaz out of crowd control, he gets the restyle stun on Nixie. This is good counter aggression coming in from Method Black.
Very curious to see how this map plays out, as Restoration Druids usually need to drink quite often, but on Hook Point it's probably the most difficult map to actually drink. So this game could end quickly between these two Titans. ABC have had a hard-fought battle in the lower bracket. I think their performance outdoes even their own expectations, as their practice maybe wasn't as much as they would have liked, and perhaps that's going to be a regret moving forward, having seen that they can make it so far even on such limited practice. Of course, taking into consideration their synergy, the fact that these 3 players did win BlizzCon back in 2017. That is, of course, paying dividends to their potential. Chaz gets denied on the drink. Asgrath continues for further crowd control. Chaz dodges Hibernate, but cannot dodge Cyclone. Nixie, though, was left behind while Asgrath went for crowd control and fell a bit behind. Asgrath recovers, but at the cost of his mana, potentially the cost of big cooldowns, as crowd control is secured by Swapsy on Asgrath. Nixie dips lower and lower. Flurry Nova. Nice combo by Raikou, but Feint appears to be enough for Nixie to stay alive.
Yeah, and he still can rely on that Cloak of Shadows if he really needs it. Polymorph now coming in from Raikou, looking for some control. Big burst damage on Alec. What is Alec going to do? He's got both of his ice blocks. He got really low in game number 1. He ended up dying without using his ice block, so could be feeling a little bit scared in this matchup. Going to be retreating to the pillar. Raikou switching up the Polymorph onto Alec, and I like what Method Black is doing. They go after Nixie, punish him. Then once he's used some of his defensive cooldowns, once Asgrath has committed his Iron Bark, then they go after Alec, where he doesn't really have any heal over time effects, and they can get burst on multiple targets. Right now, good cross crowd control chain from ABC. Cyclone on Chaz. Swapsy dipping a little bit low, but looks like Method Black will be able to recover. Interrupt onto the Chaos Bolt. Nicely done by Nixie, and that's one of the strengths of that Assassination Rogue. So he can shut down Swapsy quite a bit in this matchup. We'll have to see if that will secure them the game.
Mana is close, cooldowns are closer, these teams are evenly matched. It's still anyone's game. Smoke Bomb gets dropped as ABC look to pull the trigger on potentially an early kill. Chaz gets stunned as he moved forward to support his teammate. Now crowd controlled by Cyclone. Swapsy is still at half. Iron Bark will be fading shortly, and with it the added damage reduction. Alec times a huge hit right as it starts to fall. Polymorph is forced to be trinketed by Chaz. Even still, Swapsy being pressured. Chaz is struggling. Swapsy is floundering. Swapsy gets cycloned at low health. Potential for ABC to close this out momentarily if they can connect any crowd control into Chaz. The Cyclones are continuous. Where is it? Asgrath moves across center field. Jumps onto Chaz, and ABC, can you do it? Efflorescence on the ground of Swapsy is the only thing keeping him going with a full blind secured. Swapsy gets taken down, and ABC stay alive in the tournament.
Hashtag overconfident. No, I'm kidding. We're not going to actually do that. ABC versus Method Black. It's still match point for Method Black. ABC, though, looking to perform potentially the most amazing reverse sweep we'll have ever seen.
Yeah, I mean, Method Black, we really haven't seen them play much Demon Hunter Death Knight in this tournament, so maybe they're out of practice a little bit, and they just want to go with what they're warmed up on. This composition, the Mage, Warlock, Restoration Druid, a lot of crowd control, a lot of burst damage potential. But ABC in that last game, they kind of exploited Swapsy a lot, put a lot of crowd control on him, eventually took him down. We'll have to see if they're able to do the same thing in game number 4.
Crowd control on 3 members of Method Black. ABC's initial attack looks solid in terms of control, but there's just absolutely no damage. Swapsy is comfortably sitting at maximum health. No real momentum swung off the start of this match for ABC, which is unfortunate as the crowd control was secured so effectively. Now that opens up Raikou and Swapsy to begin counterattacking. Nixie appears to be the target, and we have seen these rogues exposed in center field quite frequently as Chaz jumps into the fray, adding a stun for his team and a bit of extra damage, but it does appear to be the case that Asgrath is more than ready.
Yeah, Asgrath seems to be prepared so far. Swapsy into a full kidney shot. Do they have any damage? Doesn't look like it so far. We'll have to see if they're able to push in and get the crowd control that they need onto Chaz. In terms of mana right now, ABC actually has a little bit of a lead. Alec has been spamming out that spell steal with the Kleptomania. It's really effective, forcing Chaz to use that overgrowth very often. Like we kind of talked about earlier, it's a very expensive heal to put up all your heal over time effects. Nixie going for a full sap onto Chaz. I'm not sure if that was actually out of a blind or what exactly happened there, but there is some CC on Chaz, unfortunately, for ABC. They weren't able to really capitalize on it.
I think that we need to really emphasize on the intensity of this series, or in the lower bracket final, and if ABC lose this, they'll go home in third. They'll lose out on an opportunity to qualify to BlizzCon, and they'll lose out on an opportunity for $50,000. They had to win 2 more against Method Black. They haven't really been able to throughout the spring season, but here in the finals, they've got 1 more opportunity, and they cannot afford to miss it. They managed to pull off at least 1 victory here on Hook Point, but on Tolvaron in the open field advantage, the Mage Warlock, I'm not sure if they can overcome that disadvantage. Alec is already low on health, and any mistake, they're going home.
Yeah, I mean, it is do or die for ABC at this point. Method Black, of course, they want to win game number 3 so they can have their rematch against Cloud9 in the finals and try to earn their spot for BlizzCon. there is so much on the line for all of the teams left in this tournament. Not only is there a lot of prize money, but of course that spot to BlizzCon. It would be such a relief for all of these players if they could guarantee their spot to BlizzCon so early on. The pressure would be off in the summer season, but only one team can win. One of these teams wants to meet Cloud9 in the grand final. Swapsy finding a Chaos Bolt. Good pressure here onto Alec. But the kidney shot shuts down a lot of that follow-up damage. Ashcraft's mana is doing really well so far in this game. He's been able to sneak away from multiple drinks. Unfortunately for Method Black, they haven't really been able to deny it. Alec caught in midfield. A little bit of damage coming in from Raikou, but looks like Alec should be fine. Chaz does manage to find the bash onto Asgaroth into a full cyclone. Nice crowd control here from Method Black. Alec forced into an ice block. That might have been a little bit preemptive.
I mean, he's just trying to anticipate, I believe, but still it is early, and now Nixie gets switched to by Method Black. Two of the members of ABC low on health, and Asgrath will have to expend quite a lot of mana to deal with that. Mana likely to be the name of the game. In the meantime, Nixie's trying to hard carry the team. Drops the smoke bomb. Line of sighting Chaz from healing Swapsy. Opening up Alec to secure crowd control. However, was preempted by Iron Bark, which is now reducing damage on Swapsy. Chaz predicting the moves of his opponent perfectly, denying opening time and time again.
Yeah, definitely. This is Alec's Icy Vein. He wants to get very aggressive onto Swapsy, but unfortunately not able to right now. The Cyclone comes in. Will Alec be able to sneak in any more crowd control onto Chaz? Doesn't look like it. Chaz is in cat form right now. Moving in, connecting some heals onto Swapsy. Those Iron Bark. Asgrath actually moving in. He's looking to get a bash Cyclone potentially onto Chaz. Chaz, the beautiful re-stealth, denies that crowd control from ABC and does manage to keep Swapsy alive for now. Chaz gets out of the blind into a bash. No follow-up from Alec. A beautiful Mortal Coil from Swapsy will deny that. Now Alec gets cycloned up. That was a Maledict from Raikou. A bit of a blunder there for Method Black. It could have been big pressure, but Alec is still being in a lot of trouble. He's caught into a full bash. He doesn't have a trinket. This could be his ice block. He's holding on to his cold snap. We've seen Alec make this mistake before. If it comes down to a point where his third ice block has a few seconds left on that cooldown when he goes down, it's going to be because of this.
All right, let's see if this mistake ends up costing ABC not only this game, but the entire tournament. They'll go home in third place. Method Black, they want that rematch. They want it bad here to face Cloud9 in the grand finals of the 2019 Arena World Championship Spring Finals. Nixie, he's in trouble. He's out in midfield, and he's far too deep into the deep end of the pool. He's going to have to trade Cloak of Shadows just to stay alive. Swapsy now gating back to the pillar. Nixie trying to reconnect, but he's overextending. I'm not sure if he can spend this much time in the face. Raikou, anyway, is just polymorphing him, trying to at least just stall the game. I mean, it's a safe strategy. Deny Nixie's Vendetta as much as possible. Allow Chaz more room to breathe, and then secure a kill later on. So Method Black are definitely playing to that late game advantage the composition they're playing brings here in game number 4.
There's been a lot of pressure generated by Raikou and Chaz in this matchup onto Alec, but every time they get the damage rolling, Swapsy's just caught into a kidney shot, and that is the control of the Assassination Rogue against the Warlock. And one of the reasons ABC's been doing a really good job, Swapsy just can't find the follow-up damage, force Alec into those ice blocks. Ice block finally almost rotating back up for Alec. If he can greet it and hold onto that cold snap, it will be a miracle. If Method Black can somehow force him in the next minute to use that cold snap, it will be a disaster for ABC. 7% dampening at this point in the game. Swapsy into a kidney shot. Alec playing very defensive, still getting some decent pressure out onto Swapsy at this point, with Chaz not in any crowd control, and it's just been raw damage sort of carrying ABC at this point on Swapsy. They're avoiding damage at all costs, not really overextending, going for crowd control. Now Asgaroth looking to move in, looking to find a bash. In terms of mana, these Restoration Druids are actually very even.
All right, it's an even fight here between ABC and Method Black. Can Alec, the 2017 BlizzCon champion, manage to carry the team deeper into dampening, secure crowd control, and damage for a kill? Well, it's actually Nixie that's in a bit of trouble here. He's on the run, ducking around the corner, avoiding the damage of his opponents. Chaz, on the other hand, is sitting down, not able to actually regenerate too much mana there with the drink, and Nixie will stop him from continuing. Looking like he may want to attack Chaz. Chaz is going to reposition with the Demonic Gateway across center field, and now Nixie has to run out in midfield. He is going to take a lot of crowd control and damage as a result. Swapsy setting up with Fears to free cast Chaos Bolt, actually switching to Alec, and they could cost the cold snap here. Alec has managed to at least survive to that second ice block. That mistake made earlier is now not going to matter at all. Fortunate for him, but dampening continues to mount higher and higher, and still Swapsy in a bit of trouble. Smoke bomb. Ursul's Vortex denies Chaz from getting inside. That was so well done here from Askerath. Now a polymorph out of a bash. Things are starting to unravel for Method Black.
Yeah, and this is the mistake that could cost them this game and potentially this series. Swapsy's still really low. Chaz tries to connect the Iron Bark, but Swapsy could easily fall.
What?
ABC trying to take him down. How is Swapsy alive?
I can't believe it.
This is a complete throw in game number 4 by Method Black.
Way from defeating Method Black, completing the reverse sweep, and meeting Cloud9 in the finals.
Why would you not Demon Hunter Death Knight?
I don't know. That's what I'm wondering. I feel like they're just not confident at this point. Maybe they're not well rehearsed. Maybe it's a little bit of arrogance. Maybe they feel like they should be winning on this Mage Warlock Restoration Druid, and that could be the case. But so far, ABC has made it very difficult for them so far, and it's looking like ABC could get the reverse sweep in this series.
ABC might be getting into the heads of Method Black as they put them on their final test. Game 5, lower bracket final. Winner advances for a match against Cloud9 for a chance at BlizzCon, for a chance in a spot at the World Finals. That opportunity all rests on this last 5th and final game.
Yep, and we'll have to see what they can get done. Stun on the Nixie. What is Method Black going to do? They've been trying to find burst damage onto Alec and take him down. They did manage to do so in game number 1. Already, Alec, he's just trading out his Ice Block. He doesn't care. That's the Infernals. That's the Icy Veins. Trade out an Ice Block. Why not? Avoid some damage. Looks like he's going to be doing that. Now Icy Veins gets traded out for Alec. He's looking to reverse the pressure of his own onto Swapsy. Nixie a little bit low. Finds the kitty shot onto Swapsy. Do they have the crowd control for Chaz? If they can get crowd control on Chaz, things could be good, but Raku's been doing a really good job finding big offense, forcing the Ice Block from Alec, and also making Nixie play a little bit defensive so far.
All right, let's see what they can get done here. Mana even between these two teams. Cold Snap from Alec, though. Down 1 Ice Block already. And that might cause him to play overly cautious. And I'm not sure if they can afford to play cautiously. They're going to have to take risks to take down such a durable composition, that being the Mage and Destruction Warlock with so much crowd control and so much durability. It is difficult composition to overcome. And Cloud9 playing it perfectly, really, in this tournament has seemed to force the teams to find an answer. And really, Method Black, the only answer that they've come up with so far was that double Shaman Rogue, but they weren't able to take the whole series, and now potentially preparing to mirror if they can win, but that's if they can win, and I'm not entirely sold that they can still.
Yeah, look at Chaz's mana. It's doing really bad. It's already 40%. We are not even close to dampening at this point. Azeroth's been managing his mana quite well in this matchup so far. Swapsy's been under quite a bit of pressure. Now into a kidney shot once again. Frozen Orb gets dropped out. Raikou looking to reverse the pressure with an Evan Bolt. Who's it going to be on? Alec gets topped off. Polymorph spam coming in from Raikou as well, but Azeroth with that Cyclone slows down a lot of the incoming healing, denies the Iron Bark from Chaz, and Chaz has just not found a moment to breathe in this matchup, and that's why his mana is just falling so far behind.
Yep, Chaz is struggling, and he's getting thirsty. Is he going to find an oasis here to drink, regenerate, and get his team back into the battle, because he absolutely needs to. Asgrass sees Chaz looking for that opportunity and moves over and at least stops him from drinking. ABC have built a significant advantage in that regard, but Nixie is getting owned in midfield by Swapsy. A lot of Chaos Bolt. Swapsy gates, but he gates into crowd control. All 3 members locked down simultaneously by that of Alec.
Yeah, and right now, Chaz has been able to regenerate a bit of mana as he has been crowd controlled for so long. I guess that's one of the benefits of not being able to spend your mana. Kitty shot now onto Swapsy. Nixie and Alex still trying to find some damage. Raikou looking for polymorphs onto Alex, trying to deny. Re-stealth here from Chaz. Manages to find the rake stun onto Nixie, denying just a little bit of damage, but still Swapsy's falling further and further behind. This is a lot of pressure coming in from ABC, and we have not even stepped foot into dampening yet. I mean, the Druids are almost out of mana, and we're not even dampening yet. This is quite remarkable. Game 5, lower bracket final. Loser goes home. Winner has a second chance at the grand finals. Second chance at a BlizzCon spot at the World Finals and a shot of $50,000. So I can't help but feel that Method Black threw this series away. I mean, their win rate against Rogue Mage Druid as Demon Hunter Death Knight had to have been 100%. It had to have been 100% throughout the entire spring season. They knew that Rogue Mage Druid was coming at them. Why would you not lock in the composition that you have a 100% win rate? Why would you go with the Mage Warlock Druid that, sure, maybe it should win on paper, but you have no experience with the composition? I don't understand why you wouldn't go with the safe pick when so much is on the line. mean, Method Black have to know what is on the line in this tournament, and they feel like this is their best bet, I suppose. But ABC has made it very difficult for them. You can see Nixie has Vendetta rolling up, Alec with the Vendetta as well, or sorry, with the Icy Veins. So ABC is ready with all their offensive cooldowns to get aggressive. Swapsy getting low. Chaz moves forward, gets the bash onto Nixie. Chaos Bolt on Nixie. Askerath denies with the Iron Bar. That easily is enough to keep Nixie alive. And if you look at Nixie, he's still got his Vanish, Vendetta, basically every single offensive and defensive cooldown ready to go. And that is a great position for ABC to be in, as Method Black, Chaz, they are almost completely tapped on mana.
I mean, what are they going to do? I see a Fell Hunter chasing Asgarath. Chaz hasn't been able to drink because Asgarath is chasing him. Dampening has now stepped in, and the Druids are almost out of mana. Still an Ice Block lead, though, for Method Black, where Swapsy can rely on that unending resolve. Swapsy also with Infernals available, waiting to see when he decides to activate those as they increase the Destruction's Warlock's damage so immensely, and could secure a kill for his team and secure a spot for his team in the finals in a rematch against Cloud9. Can they do it? Vendetta is now rolling for Nixie. Icy Veins for Alec. This means that their damage is increased massively. What can they get done with it? They desperately need to get a kill with it if they want to find victory, if they want to have a shot at the world final spot themselves. Chaz is crowd controlled, extended period of time. Swapsy looks to counter engage with the Infernals, looking to scare his opponents away during their push, but they are unrelenting. Smoke bomb attempt once again by Nixie. This is how they have found victory against Method Black so far in the series, and potentially find victory here and now. Cyclone stops healing on Swapsy. His health effectively paused. Nixie continues crowd control on Chaz. Polymorph now follows up. If he trinkets, he could be punished. Chaz is trying to sit through it. Swapsy looks comfortable to allow it to happen. How much more crowd control do they have for Chaz? Do they have the Cyclone? Asgarath lines it up, and they nail it. Swapsy gates to center field. Alec is dipping low at the same time, though, and we're getting into dampening. Ice block force from Alec. Swapsy holds out.
Yeah, he gets topped off. Now it's Swapsy that is in trouble. Not really many cooldowns, there's no unending resolve, but Alec forced into that second ice block of the game. Raikou with the Icy Veins getting aggressive. That was the Infernals as well. ABC has sort of weathered the storm. Chaz moving in, gets the Rake Stun onto Asgarath into a diminishing return Cyclone. They're looking to go after Nixie, who's caught into a bash. Asgarath deflects that attack with the Iron Bark, and now ABC needs to get aggressive in this situation. That was all the offense coming in from Method Black. Now as Rogue Mage Druid, they need to start getting crowd control of their own, keep up the pressure on Swapsy. Both Chaz and Asgarath seem to be at 10% mana for the last couple of minutes.
I'm kind of calling this ahead of time, but I think said icon with a minute and 40 seconds below Nixie's health, that's Smoke Bomb. That's where they found the kill on Swapsy almost every time. If they can survive to that Smoke Bomb, I think that they kill Swapsy that deep into dampening. So they need to survive another minute and 30 seconds. Can ABC survive that long? Maybe they can just overwhelm them with damage before that point. I cannot believe that this was a throwaway if Method Black lose. They still had a Demon Hunter Death Knight comp they could have locked in, and they're really trying to hold this together, but ABC, they've stepped up to the plate here today in the tournament, battling it out. Ruling lower bracket and potentially going all the way to the finals here to face Cloud9. Chaz sits through a polymorph, another one. Can they get another one? Asgarath jumps over but gets caught. Raikou catches Asgarath. Fortunately, the polymorph ending a bit early. Swapsy's still in trouble. Iron Bark, it has to be enough. Chaz has to trinket. He gets bashed on the trinket. Iron Bark may not be enough here to survive at 19% dampening. Alec has stabilized. Swapsy starting to stabilize, 40 seconds away from that smoke bomb of Nixie. I actually am starting to think that ABC are going to take it.
I think they definitely could, but that was the Vendetta as well as the Maledict push from ABC at 20% dampening. Swapsy now into a kidney shot. Big burst damage coming in from Alec as they look to close out this game. Chaz has no mana left whatsoever. How is he going to keep Swapsy alive? Alec with Icy Veins. If he can get a Kleptomania spell steal with his Icy Veins, it's just going to be too much pressure for Method Black to really deal with. There is so much on the line for both of these teams. They're looking to make a move, get to the grand final, battle it out against Cloud9, but this could be a complete throwaway from Method Black.
Polymorph Chaz gets caught. Big mistake by Chaz. Big mistake, and it could cost him an opportunity to go to BlizzCon. Swapsy tries to counter-aggress, though, amidst it, and pulls the final ice block of Alec. This is coming down to the absolute last second. Are Method Black going home in third? It's looking like it's going to happen. It's looking like it's going to happen. Cyclone at low health, denying the Iron Bark. Smoke Bomb is available. Where's the kidney shot? Where is it? They don't even need it. ABC, they can't even believe it. Look at Nixie's face after that. But ABC, they're going to the finals to face Cloud9.
Right now, you guys think Cloud9's going to be able to take it. Let's see how they fare against the ABC that has been on a destructive warpath throughout a lower bracket.
The competition is at its apex for World of Warcraft arena action here in the grand finals of the Spring Finals 2019 series. Cloud9, North America's last hope, ABC, Europe's last hope for their each respective regions. Very important to win this series and secure yourself a spot at BlizzCon. Secure yourself a spot at the World Finals. We see Azkarath, the target of choice early on from Cloud9, and that is a confident move to go after the healer this early on.
Yeah, Cloud9, I mean, that was a decent attempt, but that was a little bit sloppy. Chanimal was out of line of sight, wasn't able to connect the Mortal Coil, and Wealthy Man, he dumped a lot of his offensive cooldowns. That was the Infernals as well, so they had a decent attempt, but weren't able to get too much rolling onto Azkarath. Nixie now forced to use the Cloak of Shadows as well off the back of that Infernal. Chanimal has been able to generate a decent amount of pressure so far. Once again, we saw ABC when they went against Method Black, they went on the Destruction Warlock, really focused on controlling up the enemy mage, so Wealthy Man is going to get controlled up quite a bit, trying to land that crowd control chain onto Cubsy, and if they can do that, Chanimal could fall. Yeah, most certainly can, and it's the Smoke Bomb, I believe, of Nixie that is going to be the playmaker spell. Let's see what Nixie can get done with Smoke Bomb here against Cloud9, and more importantly, I believe Chanimal is not running the Demonic Circle, Mortal Coil instead, so he will not have Demonic Circle to escape to safety, instead going for more aggressive talent decisions. Let's see if it works out for Chanimal. Perhaps he can just outplay that of Method Black with experience alone. They've been playing this composition, the Mage Warlock Druid, the entire spring season, and seems like nobody really has an answer. ABC managed to somehow pull it off. Their Smoke Bomb. This is the big move. Chanimal is playing the Gladiator's Medallion, so he can use that to get out of a stun and escape the line-of-sight effects of Smoke Bomb, and has lined them up. But still, crowd control is secured. Chanimal is isolated early on in Game 1. Very important to win the blind pick here in this series when the teams have so many compositions at their disposal. Ironbark activated as the crowd control is broken up. Cubsy stabilizes. Now Alec on the back foot. Yeah, Alec taking a little bit of burst damage with the bash onto Azkarath, but he will get out of that crowd control, and it looks like ABC should be able to stabilize. Alec in midfield right now could be in a little bit of trouble. If Wealthy Man can keep him locked down, keep him snared up, Chanimal might be able to tee off with some Chaos Bolt, manages to find one. Alec does deflect it, gets healed up by Azkarath. We look at mana right now, ABC does have a little bit of a lead. Looks like Cubsy wants to try to cross the map, potentially go for those drinks. Has to drink it out of the blind with the kidney shot on Chanimal. Doesn't want to fall behind. It's a fair trade from Cloud9, but now there's an opportunity here for ABC in this matchup. If they can push in, get a bash, Ring of Frost, that's when they can start really getting aggressive with that vendetta Nixie has. All right, Nixie, what are you going to do? You're the playmaker for the team. You got to set up things. You got to set up moves and shut down moves of the opposing team simultaneously. And if he can manage to do so with his team coordinated crowd control, then they could find victory here facing Cloud9, which would be absolutely unexpected. Polymorph Poly on the Cubsy. Chanimal at half. Azkarath is crossing center field to get further crowd control. Cyclone secured. Counterspell denies Wealthy Man from supporting Chanimal. This efflorescence on the ground, healing Chanimal, really the only thing that's stopping him from going down at this moment in time. Mana still even for both sides. No significant lead on either front. Alec, though, on the back foot as a result of their crowd control attempt fading. Ironbark's defense is going to be dropping. Wealthy Man's on top of Alec. Gladiator's Maledict is absorbing the heal over time effects. Azkarath is still crowd controlled. Alec is isolated. Wealthy Man's on one side, Chanimal on the other. Alec has to make a decision like a fox in a hole to decide where does he want to escape to safety, but the crowd control is now over and Azkarath is easily stabilized the team. Yeah, Alec gets topped off. That was really good defensive positioning right there by Alec, managing to avoid the damage from Wealthy Man as well as Chanimal. Big swap attempt over onto Cubsy. He's caught into a kidney shot. No trinket. He uses the bark skin. Will he be able to survive? One Maledict lands. Good defensive peels here by Wealthy Man, by Chanimal. Cubsy gets out of line of sight behind the pillar, tops himself off with a huge regrowth, and does manage to survive that swap. I'm interested to see mana. Cubsy actually ahead. I think he snuck away for a drink. This is the first time we've seen ABC kind of behind against the Mage Lock Druid. Cloud9's been doing a really good job managing mana.
Yeah, Cloud9 certainly have, and that is going to be the main advantage for them moving into the late stages of this fight. Cubsy has taken some talent decisions from Gorecki running the Spring Blossom, so that green circle on the ground, the efflorescence, is even more powerful, and it's super effective against crowd control compositions. I'm curious if Asgarath is also running this. No, he is not, opting for Stonebark, the reduced cooldown on Ironbark, so potentially this efflorescence talent for Cubsy could be a significant reason as to how they find victory facing ABC. We see Asgarath trying to get crowd control, but Ursul's Vortex on his wild charge preemptively by Cubsy, but Alec blinks in, doesn't get the follow-up, denied by Chanimal. Cubsy running away from two members of ABC, but they've denied the crowd control, and now Cloud9 will have free reign for a few moments.
Yeah, definitely going to have an opportunity here to get some damage rolling, but Nixie is going to be decently durable. You know, he has the feint, Vanish coming up in 20 seconds, but ABC may be running out of time. Look at Asgarath's mana, it's already down to around 20%. Smoke Bomb does get dropped out. Chanimal caught into a kidney shot. Does Cubsy have the healing? It looks like Chanimal will be able to survive. Nixie trying to run over, but Cubsy positioned very far away, and slowly but surely Cloud9 is developing a lead here in this matchup, but like we've seen in the last couple games, all ABC needs is just one clean setup to take down a Destruction Warlock. If they can push in, get good crowd control, Cubsy with no trinket won't be able to get out of that crowd control, and Chanimal could easily fall. It's just about execution at this point, and Wealthy Man's going to have to make sure he's doing a good job denying it.
All right, nice frozen orb from Wealthy Man, stopping Asgarath from drinking. Chanimal now sending the Fell Hunter over. However, Unending Resolve was used by Chanimal, and I guess it was for the smoke bomb there to try and stabilize. A bit peculiar move on Chanimal's part. That is his most important defensive cooldown, and we have seen the Destruction Warlock as the main target for the Rogue Mage Druid. This is a big opening for ABC, a big opportunity in the grand finals for the spring finals. BlizzCon on the line.
Yeah, Ebon Bolt being cast out onto Chanimal. Big burst damage here for ABC, 10% dampening, and as dampening gets higher and higher, Nixie on the Assassination Rogue is going to be able to really rip into Chanimal, and he kind of traded out that Unending Resolve earlier on, so Cubsy could go for a reset on his mana, sit down for a drink. There's a sap now onto Cubsy. Nixie shadow steps over onto Chanimal. Alec looking for some damage, finds the Polymorph on Wealthy Man, Ring of Frost on Cubsy. Beautiful crowd control from Alec, creating a 3v1 situation. Chanimal left all alone.
He's going to use that Fire Blood, removes that Glidier's Maledict effect, however Cyclone at low health, and Asgarath has been the MVP with these Cyclones to have his team find victory and enough damage to close the game out. Ursul's Vortex pins Cubsy into a Cyclone. Good combination of crowd control. Icy Veins being denied by Wealthy Man, predicting that attack and polymorphing it immediately. Cubsy then stunning it. Asgarath is interrupted. Looks like they're switching to him. He's trying to cross center field, avoid some of that burst damage and crowd control. Still another minute and 30 on that Unending Resolve. Nixie sees the opening and he's trying to take it. Vendetta pop. Big damage here on the Chanimal. Cubsy using Thorns to try and thwart Nixie away, but Nixie is reluctant to do so, still just hammering away, although not really winning this exchange in terms of pressure. Dampening continues to rise. Asgarath jumping into the fight. Can Alec and Asgarath secure crowd control? Yes, they can. Polymorph landed. Cyclone secured on a Wealthy Man. It's 3-on-1. Nether Ward from Chanimal denies the Glidier's Maledict. Fear on Nixie denies the damage, and Chanimal, MVP of the tournament, completely owns ABC in that attempt.
Yeah, that was really good denial there by Chanimal, using the Nether Ward to deflect the Maledict, getting a Fear, landing the Mortal Coil. Now a big attempt here on Asgarath, immediately activating the Barskin. He is not messing around. Wealthy Man all over him, looking for a Maledict, manages to find the burst. Asgarath has to get out of line of sight. Chanimal in a kidney shot really couldn't back up the rest of his team to take down Asgarath in that situation. Now Asgarath finds the full Cyclone onto Wealthy Man. Cubsy in a Polymorph. Asgarath moves in. If he can find the Cyclone out of this Polymorph, it's going to be big for ABC. Chanimal in a lot of trouble.
All right, crowd control is still landed on the Cubsy, and Chanimal is not recovering just yet. He's managed to hold out. Cubsy's land is stunned. Alex in trouble. Cannot afford to go down without exchanging ice blocks, but Asgarath has no mana. Dampening is at 25%. There's the smoke bomb. This is the play-making ability that Nixie has to get a kill with. Ironbark connects, though, in between the crowd control, and that looks to be enough to stabilize Chanimal. Nixie's on the run. Asgarath gets swapped to. Wealthy Man almost snipes him. He's ducking for cover, but he's got no mana to heal. He's really relying on Omen of Clarity, which procs from Life Bloom to make regrowth free. Asgarath is relying on these discounted heals, but they're not guaranteed. He's just casting Solar Wrath. He has nothing left. Asgarath has to go for a kill. He's adding whatever extra damage he can into the mix because he simply can't heal. He can't even dispel the Polymorph of Alec. Nixie gets swapped to. This is easily a Cloak of Shadows. this. Cubsy exchanges Gliders Medallion for the blind. Fair exchange there, and Cloud9, they should have this game in the bag. ABC need a miracle.
Yeah, they definitely do. There's the bash on Nixie. No Cloak of Shadows available. He is such a good target at this point in the game for Cloud9 to tee off on. Chanimal trades out the Unending Resolve. The Dark Soul looking to get aggressive. Cubsy interrupted. Can they find any damage? No, Alec in full peel mode. He knows his team is in a lot of trouble, but I don't know if Asgrath is ever going to be able to recover. Nixie at this point, he's behind the pillar, flailing to survive. Wealthy Man snipes a flurry, Ice Lance, and Cloud9 put the first point on the board.
It's on them yet.
Exactly. At least they don't have the practice at the level of a map that you've been playing for God knows how many years, right? And when you look at this one, we're not in a swing matchup yet. We like to talk about when we get into sometimes that third game, the potential for a swing, even in a best-of-5 series. In this game, too, that's not where we are. But it's just as important because of what Zico alluded to, map size. If we see Cloud9 steal a small map, well, then you look down the series and you say they got enough big maps to play around with. They stole one on a small map. If ABC is able to do it, though, then you see what their win condition possibly is. It's going small, getting into tight quarters, and finding ways to take down Cloud9.
Big damage early on from ABC, but only pulling Iron Bark. Not that precious unending resolve of Chanimal, so not too big of a deal here for Cloud9 early on. And in terms of mana on Dalaran Sewers, it will be difficult for either side to drink, and drinking is going to be the name of the game. Smoke Bomb, this is the big power play. Cubsy knows that Smoke Bomb, he can't heal to the line of sight, so he uses Tranquility, which can. Asgrath, though, however, has jumped over and denied it with a Cyclone. But Chanimal is unfazed, and really that Spring Blossoms, that green circle below Chanimal, that talent in particular is the main reason that Chanimal can so easily survive when Cubsy is crowd controlled. Nixie now getting destroyed by Wealthy Man. Asgarath is interrupted. They cannot afford to go down 2-0 this early on in the best of 7.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely not a situation you want to find yourself in. On Dalaran Sewers, the smaller map, it should be good for ABC. They push in for crowd control on Cubsy. Nixie, though, in the meantime, getting really low. He has to trade out his Cloak of Shadows this early on. It could be a disaster, but there's a big attempt onto Asgaroth as well. Big pressure coming in from Wealthy Man and Chanimal. Very nicely done. Sap on Cubsy. ABC trying to continue the crowd control chain, trying to continue the pressure on Chanimal. Cubsy trinkets out of the blind to keep Chanimal nice and healthy so they can continue this offensive push.
I think that Cloud9 are making a bit of an adaptation here, using a lot more interrupts on Asgarath, and that is putting him heavily behind. So Cloud9 mixing up their interrupt usage, focusing more on the healer rather than the mage Alec, and trying to build momentum and get kills earlier on here. Cubsy initiating crowd control. All 3 members of ABC are locked down, but they don't manage to get any more follow-up. Instead, switching targets. Big burst. I love Cubsy's Feral Affinity play, adding in just a bit of extra damage into the mix, almost taking out Asgarath here early on, as he is struggling to recover.
Yeah, he's definitely struggling. We haven't seen a team really pressure down Asgarath this much so far in this type of matchup. Cloud9, Wealthy Man, Cubsy, they've been doing a really good job. Even though Chanimal is locked down, they're still keeping ABC guessing in this matchup, not allowing Asgarath to play nearly as aggressive as we saw in the Method Black game. Now Asgarath moving in, lands the bash, full Ring of Frost potential here for Alec. Does manage to find it. Chanimal positioned very far away. Finally, Alec landing some damage. There's the full kidney shot. Big burst potential here for ABC.
All right, let's see what they can get done. Chanimal is low, but Iron Bark has connected from Cubsy. Mana, though, in favor of ABC. That is a bit different than we've seen between these compositions in the past, so if they can prevent Cubsy from regenerating, perhaps ABC can pull a victory off that way. Cubsy is sitting down, trying to drink in stealth, crossing the map as they do try to surround him and swarm. Cubsy is able to avoid that situation and reposition. How much mana can he get? Chanimal is being pressured amidst this drink opportunity.
Oh no.
He is near the demonic gateway, but they don't stop it. Alec was Frost Nova out of range. Cubsy's full mana. However, Chanimal is still low on health. No Iron Bar for 26 seconds. Perhaps they can at least get an unending resolve for that exchange, but not finding it. That's a lead now for Cloud9.
Yep, Cubsy tried to sneak away for a drink, or he did manage to sneak away for a drink. Alec looked for a Blizzard to deny it, but Wealthy Man had a beautiful interrupt on that Blizzard. Put Alec in a Frost Nova and completely kept Cubsy out of combat. That was really good backup from Wealthy Man to help Cubsy recover some of that mana. And now, because of that, Cloud9, they have a massive mana lead. Alec at the pillar with Asgarath, looking to get the pressure rolling onto Chanimal. Nixie moving towards Cubsy, but Cubsy just positioned so far away, it's really difficult for him to land the crowd control that he needs. And now ABC, they're falling a little bit behind. Asgarath trying to play catch up right now with that Innervate. It's a really well-timed Innervate, but make it so all of his heals are free of charge and he can top off his team. Interrupt now coming in from Chanimal onto Asgaroth. Like you said, it looks like Cloud9, they're trying to throw more interrupts onto Asgaroth, putting him further behind in this matchup.
That drink from Cubsy is carrying right now as we get closer to dampening. Nixie the main focus here for Cloud9 with that Gliders Maledict healing absorption activated, but no real cooldowns forced as a result of it, unfortunately. Now, still the mana lead in favor of ABC. We're in the grand finals here, a best of 7 between the number 4 seed for Europe, that of ABC. Former 2017 BlizzCon champions, Asgrath, Alec, Nixie, reunited, and they've powered through this entire tournament to make it for a rematch against Cloud9, which every single team in this tournament has regarded as the best and most individually skilled team in the tournament, and you can see that here showcased with their Mage Warlock Restoration Druid composition. What can beat them? What can stop them from going all the way to BlizzCon? Well, it's only ABC, but what compositions? And it's looking like Rogue Mage is their only answer. Nixie is setting up huge damage here on Chanimal, out of line of sight of Cubsy. Cubsy repositions, catches a quick heal, but still pressure is mounting. Chanimal buys some breathing room with a fear. Looking for a Chaos Bolt, fake casts the kick. Well done from Chanimal, he drops the Infernals. If he can get a Chaos Bolt off the back end of the stun, not able to find it, unfortunately, even with the support of the team. Instead now Chaos Bolting Nixie. Big hit there, about half his health. Asgrath's mana continues to fall, and dampening continues to rise here at 5%.
Yep, 5%, gonna get higher and higher, and like you said, these Druids will struggle more and more as healing reduction goes up. Chanimal gets interrupted. There's still decent pressure here for ABC. Cubsy, actually Asgrath is the one that's trying to sneak away. The Fell Hunter does chase him down, but unfortunately not able to deny, and this could be a complete reset here for ABC. Alec is getting pressured down, but he's at the pillar right now, avoiding a lot of the incoming damage. Asgrath did drink. That was such a nice drink for ABC at the perfect moment in this game, covered their mana, and now they can continue that push, which we didn't get to see in game number 1.
Asgrath stunned up, smoke bomb attempt here from Nixie. What can he get done? Fortunately, not too much. Only another ward for a smoke bomb. That is a big miss by ABC. That is their power play ability, and it doesn't really net them anything. Cubsy still sitting through crowd control. Alec looking to polymorph. Will he find it? He does. This could open up ABC an opportunity to get unending resolve, but you see Chanimal positioned in that efflorescence. That added extra healing from the Talent Spring Blossoms, paying its weight in gold here for Cloud9 as Chanimal soaks up all that damage basically for free here, and Cubsy is comfortable.
Yeah, Wealthy Man looking for a Ray of Frost. He's really been pressuring Asgrath in this game quite a bit more than any of the mages we have seen. Makes him think twice. If he pushes in, he's 50% health, he gets caught into a bash. Cloud9 could really capitalize on that. If we look, Chanimal, he does have that Infernal coming up in around 1 minute and 20 seconds. Wealthy Man almost has that Icy Veins up as well, and that's when they can get really aggressive as a team, potentially do that one-shot combo we talked about with the Infernal Stun, with the bash, with the Mortal Coil. In the meantime, ABC, they're starting to develop some pressure, a beautiful preemptive Iron Bark. Cubsy got caught into the bash, but was able to get that Iron Bark on Chanimal, denying this go from ABC.
Vendetta available, Icy Veins available. These are big hitting cooldowns for ABC. Curious to see if they pull the trigger on both at the same time, or if they're going to split them up. Right now would be a good opportunity. There's no Iron Bark available. Kidney shot, but Nixie gets bashed. He can't follow up with any damage. Great denial by Cubsy.
Yep, that was the Icy Vein from Alec. He throws out an Evan Bolt. Chanimal could be in a little bit of trouble. Ray of Frost being channeled out as well. This is great damage from ABC, but the Spring Blossom has been doing work for Cubsy in this matchup. Chanimal has been sitting in that mushroom, that green effect on the ground for as long as possible. That empowered healing is just seems to be the extra little bit of edge that Cloud9 needs to allow Chanimal to survive these setups.
Chanimal at half health, dampening at 20%. Scary moment for Cloud9 here in game number 2. Cubsy looks unfazed though, stunning up Nixie, looking for a kill there. Cloak of Shadows is available, but it's a gamble he's taking by not activating this early on. Kick interrupts Chaos Bolt. Pressure further forces Chanimal back. Cubsy's Iron Bark stabilizes him for now at about 40. He is going to start to recover. Chanimal wants to swap to Asgarath and force him away from Cubsy. Hibernate gets dodged, but Ring of Frost cannot. Good coordination here from ABC. And hopefully this crowd control for them can bank an unending resolve, and it will with Vendetta committed. Chanimal is going to respect that cooldown's increased damage, but even still may not actually be enough. Cubsy is still cycloned. Can they get further? They get the second. Can they get the third? If they get the third, they may get the kill. Chanimal's Glidier's safeguard hits off, but Glidier's Maledict is incoming. Asgrath and Chanimal both in a lot of trouble here at this point in the match. Cubsy continues to get crowd controlled. Chanimal holds on, but barely.
Yeah, barely holds on. A nice cyclone by Asgrath. This is going to allow the diminishing returns to fade from Cubsy. If they can get crowd control on Cubsy, Chanimal could easily fall, but looks like he will be okay. Asgrath gets interrupted. There's a smoke bomb. Kleptomania. Chanimal, he has to trinket out. Cubsy needs to connect some heals. He has the Iron Bark. Now caught into a full cyclone. Won't be able to land it, but Chanimal and Wealthy Man have been doing a really good job controlling up ABC. You can see a Fear on Nixie. Polymorph on Alec. Mortal Coil on Asgrath. All three members caught in crowd control, but ABC, they want to throw out their own CC. There's a bash on Cubsy into a full Polymorph. Gets the Iron Bark on Chanimal. That should be enough to keep him alive, but both these teams firing on all cylinders.
There's no efflorescence down on Chanimal. I think that's actually more important than Iron Bark. So they don't have that Spring Blossom healing right now on Chanimal. Cubsy needs to get that down as soon as possible, but he's still crowd controlled. Can Chanimal hold on anymore? And they could close. Nether Ward holds Chanimal out, denying the Cyclone at low health. Great job by Chanimal. Once again, man, just MVP of the entire tournament in my mind, in my eyes, having watched this performance. Potentially going to be clean sweeping the finals if they can keep this up a bit longer. Mana is evening out, though, at least for ABC. Vendetta comes up in 17, Icy Veins in 14 for Alec and Nixie, and I think that those are going to be the final activations of the game. Will they just go all out, or are they going to hold on to them for a precise push? It all rides on those cooldowns.
Cubsy did sit down for a drink. He managed to gate away from Asgrath as he was pushing in for that bash. Good positioning by Cubsy, but a Polymorph gets snuck in. 3v1 situation. Wealthy Man forced to use his Ice Block to keep Chanimal alive. Lands a counterspell on Alec, denying the follow-up crowd control. Asgrath there to back him up with the bash on Cubsy. Chanimal now into a cheap shot. Iron Bark might be enough to keep him alive. But Cloud9, they need some counter pressure. Right now, ABC, things are just going their way.
Well, that's because it's the Icy Veins, it's the Vendetta. This is the big push. This is what ABC needed to win the game with, but they're not getting it. Chanimal gates to safety with Cubsy. Nixie's in hot pursuit, but Cubsy regenerated mana. He's got a significant lead. There's no ice blocks for Alec. Asgrath is almost tapped on mana. Dampeding's at 40%. It's looking good for Cloud9 on game number 2 here in the grand finals of the spring finals for the Arena World Championship Series.
I mean, it's not looking bad for Cloud9, but at 40% dampening, it is going to be very difficult for Cubsy to heal through the single target damage on Chanimal. Nixie just has to hold on. He still has the Cloak of Shadows. They need to make a push, but you can see Chanimal, he has the Infernal, he has the Dark Soul, he has all his offensive cooldowns ready to go. Asgrath forced to use his Bar Skin as he gets out of line of sight, finding a regrowth on himself, but at 42% dampening, it is just so difficult to top off your team. Here's a kitty shot on Chanimal. He's opting to just sit it. Cubsy not even throwing out an Iron Bark at this point in the game. And that attempt from ABC was basically completely nullified, and now it's Cloud9's time to get aggressive.
All three targets of ABC are getting softened up, and at any point, Wealthy Man's gonna go pew, 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 and just knock one of them over with a big flurries if they dip too low. Asgrath ducks recover around the corner of the staircase. Alec is trying to follow him. Nixie's pushed forward, the only member of ABC in deep enemy territory, trying to complete Mission Impossible, which is kill Chanimal. Can they do it? They're totally tapped on mana, and slowly and surely going to be totally tapped on time. Chanimal is firing away at Nixie. He shadow steps in. He kicks Cubsy. He stuns Chanimal. Nixie, Secret Agent Nixie, is trying to pull off the miracle. Can he do it here? Pressure is finally mounting.
Yeah, Chanimal might have to drop off that Infernal. They need to find the counter pressure. There's a bash or a rake stun onto Asgrath. He trinkets out, gets the bash onto Cubsy. Chanimal in a lot of trouble. He cannot afford to hold on to that unending resolve for too long. There's the Cyclone into cheap shot onto Cubsy. Finally, Chanimal decides to use that unending resolve, looking for a Chaos Bolt, but he gets Ring of Frost. Nicely done by Alec, followed up by the kidney shot. Now Alec could be in some trouble. He's got no ice block. Cloud9 reverses the pressure onto Alec.
Wait.
Really closes out the game, but this could be a cross-kill situation. We're gonna have to definitely wait and see, but beautiful game there by Cloud9, using the Infernals, getting the cross kill on Alec, and that was just very nicely done.
Had a moment there, just definitely staring at Snuts' eyes, making sure he didn't freak out, seeing like Chan go down or anything like that, because they haven't even fully been tested yet.
I mean, I was actually chatting with Sidu a little bit yesterday, and he really couldn't believe it. I mean, he knew that Cloud9 had great success with Mage Lock Druid in North America, but he was almost certain that that composition would get tested by the Europeans. But Europeans so far haven't had a great answer for Cloud9 and what they are bringing. Seems like ABC on the Rogue Mage Druid is the best bet so far, but still down 0-2 in this series. This is the grand finals for a ticket to BlizzCon and $50,000. Cloud9 just 2 games away. ABC, they got a long road ahead of them if they want to win this series.
Good crowd control engaged on ABC's part on Decubsy, but it's actually their own health bars that look a little bit soft here in game number 3. It's their best map on Hook Point. It's a small map, so Nixie can close the distance to his target more easily and more often. They couldn't find victory on Dalaran. If they can't find victory here, then I don't think anyone's going to be able to take down Cloud9. This team is titanic, more than deserving of a spot at BlizzCon, but of course they still need to win 2 more games to secure that spot. We have seen miracle crowd control attempts by ABC, perfectly and precisely placed to pull off victory against Method Black's Mage Lock Druid, so there's still potential, but it's such a long shot. Can they actually do it here? Pressure starting to develop in favor of Cloud9 as we see a mana lead. It's a small one, but it's still a lead in favor over ABC.
Yeah, and keep in mind, on this small map, it is going to be so difficult for either one of these Restoration Druids to really sit down for a drink. So as much mana as they have right now, that's all they're going to get for the game, unless one of the other teams really messes up and allows them to get a stealth, get a reset. Asgrath getting pressure down right now. Wealthy Man with a big flurry combo, as well as a frozen orb, gets him low. And I like when Wealthy Man does this. He starts taxing the mana of Asgrath, forcing him to heal himself, put heal over time effects on himself, and that really gets expensive. It also keeps him sort of guessing, because right now you can see Asgrath with no trinket. He's kind of susceptible to an all-in from Cloud9.
Let's see what they can do here. That was a smoke bomb attempt by Nixie. That is a big power play honor talent to try and kill a target, and Chanimal is totally A-OK, so that is unfortunate for ABC here on game 3 of this best of 7 grand finals. BlizzCon, $50,000 on the line if you are just tuning in, and of course, there are such a limited amount of spots at BlizzCon, and it's very important for your team's region that that region wins. So even if your favorite team is not in the grand finals, you want to cheer for their region. So if you're a North American fan, you're cheering for Cloud9 because that opens up more spots for other North American teams potentially in the future to qualify to BlizzCon. If you're a European fan, even maybe not a fan of ABC, you still want them to win so that their region has a better opportunity and more slots potentially at the World Finals. So there's a lot on the line, not only for these teams, but these respective regions as well. Ice block overlapped, big exchange here for ABC early on, and you do not want to be falling behind on your best map this early on.
No, definitely not the best situation to be in, but ABC not too far behind at this point. If we look at mana, Asgrath actually has a massive lead. Polymorph on Cubsy, interrupt on Wealthy Man, kidney shot on Chanimal. Good cross crowd control here for ABC. This is a good attempt. Chanimal could be in some trouble. Nether Ward, unending resolve, forced to be traded out. ABC continuing the chain with a cheap shot onto Cubsy into a full cyclone. He has to trinket out. I don't think Nixie had to use his blind, and this is a great situation for ABC. If he still has blind available, get a full blind onto Cubsy into potentially a sap. Any follow-up from Alec, and they could easily take down Chanimal.
Oh, Alec needs to be careful. ABC have set themselves up with a win condition, but if they die right now, they're going to lose it. Cubsy, he's sapped. Kidney shot on Chanimal. Wealthy Man left open. He's polymorphing Alec, totally shutting down this attempt. Wealthy Man, good teamwork here defensively, denying a lot of damage on Chanimal. Cubsy sits through the crowd control comfortably, but look at his mana, and this is the advantage on Hook Point. ABC can get right on top of Cubsy and stop him from drinking. If they can somehow keep that mana advantage, I do see ABC pulling it off on Hook Point.
Yeah, I mean, definitely ABC, this is their best map. They just need to continue this lead. They're in a good situation right now. They have a full blind available. Kidney shot on Chanimal. No unending resolve. There's the bash. What are they going to be able to do? Do they have the damage? Alec needs to try to get something rolling, but Chanimal denies it with the Infernal Stun. This is Icy Veins. ABC, they want to close the game out right here, right now, but there's just no damage. Chanimal just sitting at full HP.
Yep, Chanimal is A-OK. Asgrath, on the other hand, gets switched to, and Ursa down, managing to escape out of line of sight, but Infernals have landed. Chanimal is ramping up for big Chaos Bolts. Who is he going to cast a Chaos Bolt is now the question. It looks like he wants Nixie out of the fear, but no, Alec. Huge Chaos Bolt connects. No Iron Bar for Alec. again, making that mistake with the cold snap, not resetting the cooldown of his ice block. That could potentially cost him the match later on if Cloud9 can force more damage through, but it doesn't look like they can. Dampening has now entered the match. Cubsy gets caught. Maybe a bit of a mistake here on the part of Cloud9. It's been a long day. It's been a long tournament, and now maybe you're going to start to see more mistakes. And if you make a mistake in the grand finals, the other team is going to immediately punish that. There's potential for ABC, maybe just off the fact that Cloud9 could be fatigued.
Yeah, I mean, as easily as Cloud9 could be fatigued, ABC
Yes.
could be fatigued as well. I mean, it's been a long day for them. Alex still hasn't used this cold snap. If Cloud9 can force out that cold snap, it will be a little bit of a disaster for Alec, as that third ice block will be such a far away ability for him to actually have available. Chanimal gets interrupted. Thorns gets used by Cubsy, trying to get some counter pressure over on a Nixie. Alex getting low as well. He's caught in midfield. Chanimal lands one Chaos Bolt. Alec getting low. There's the Iron Bark. Like I said, if he's forced into that cold snap ice block, it will be a bit of a blunder here for ABC. Askrath gets interrupted. Alec getting low. Wealthy Man in hot pursuit, looking for a big Frostbolt, but unfortunately not able to find the damage.
Cubsy actually sits through a blind there for free. Not even having to trade that Gliders Medallion. Has a significant mana lead now in his team's favor, and it's looking like Cloud9 are going to advance to match point unless ABC can pull something off here. What do they have in terms of options? Really only the Vendetta of Nixie, but Cubsy has Iron Bark, and that's an easy trade if they decide to go for that. Wealthy Man is polymorphing Nixie, so Cubsy can sneak away and drink during ABC's push. Nobody is able to stop Cubsy. They're not able to utilize the small map whatsoever. Askrath instead is trying to find an opportunity to
full mana.
How much mana can Askrath get off the back end of this is now the question, because if he doesn't get any mana, he got a significant amount at least, but Cubsy is still ahead.
Yeah, a bit of a mistake for both of these teams, allowing the enemy Druids to recover mana. Cubsy with a complete reset. Things are looking good for Cloud9. They still have an edge, 11% dampening. Let's see what happens. Asgrath now into a bash. Big all-in attempt here for Cloud9, but there's no Infernal Stun. If they could get the Bark Skin, which they did, now there's a huge opportunity once that Infernal is up. Icy Veins available as well. Askrath, he's going to have to be very careful. If he gets caught into a bash Infernal Stun Mortal Coil, I could easily see Cloud9 taking him down. So he's going to have to be very careful soon when they decide to pull the trigger on that Infernal.
Cubsy cycloned. ABC need to capitalize, but they can't. Nixie's feared. Alex is polymorphed. Askrath is counterspelled. And every single time ABC tried to make a push, Cloud9 shut them down. And nobody has been able to take out Cloud9. They are on a whole nother tier in this tournament. They're looking strong. This is their last roadblock on the road to the BlizzCon Finals and $50,000. Only one ice block for Alec remains. Dampening continues to rise. Asgrath's mana continues to fall. Still even further burst coming through. Chanimal looking for a Chaos Bolt. Casts that onto Alec. One connects and he Shadow Melted, I believe, immuning its damage, but now not available for Gladiator's Maledict. Asgrath dispels one of them. Wealthy Man's trying to push forward for a kill, tossing Ray of Frost on Asgrath, but then getting cycloned on it, denying some hits. Alec repositioning towards Cubsy, but he's now in center field. Potentially an opening. Ring of Frost, Hibernate combo. Good teamwork there from ABC, taking Cubsy out of the fight, but they're still just so low on health that I'm not sure they can get anything going.
There's the ice block from Alec, and because he waited so long on that cold snap, there's not going to be a third ice block for some time, I believe. Yeah, and he won't have that, and that's a big blunder for ABC. Asgrath rotting low as well as Alec, but there's still an attempt here on the Chanimal. They can get the crowd control. You can see Alec still has the Icy Veins. Nixie still has all his offensive arsenal. They could try to pull off the miracle here in game number 3, but things aren't looking that great for ABC.
They are not looking, I mean, not that great is taking it lightly. It's looking terrible. It's looking abysmal. It's looking awful. And it's looking like they may just be defeated outright by Cloud9 in a clean sweep in the finals. They don't have much time left to make something happen. Can they pull it off? This is their best map, and they've already burned Dalaran. I mean, there's only so many small maps in the pool in a grand final best of 7. They have to take this if they want even a chance. But, I mean, even a chance is not looking too great here. Cloud9 just, they look unbeatable.
Yeah, they really do. They're looking bulletproof at this point in the tournament. But Chanimal getting low. Cubsy's mana is looking good. Asgrath has a little bit of mana left in the tank. I think it's unlikely any of these Druids really go for a drink. One last attempt here on Chanimal. There's a big kidney shot. Nether Ward does get used. Trinket by Chanimal. Still has that unending resolve if he needs it, but now without a trinket, he's going to be vulnerable to the next kidney shot. There is no smoke bomb, but Nixie does have the Vendetta, and at 30% dampening, really anything can happen. All he needs is a kidney shot with Kleptomania. Cubsy's going to have to do a good job responding. Cloak of Shadows gets traded out by Nixie, but there's the bash. Nixie's still really vulnerable to crowd control and Ascraft. They're going to be able to punish. Fear on Nixie into a chaos. Nixie getting low, and they punish the over-aggression from ABC. How is Nixie still alive? Unbelievable.
I think that's the lowest a player has ever gotten and not died in a tournament setting. I mean, that was a mere. Ascraft got mana while Nixie almost died, but I mean, he got mana.
Calculated.
Yeah, it was calculated, of course. Of course it was calculated by ABC here. Game 3 on hook point. It's a best of 7, though. Can they swing it back 3 more in a row after this? It's so narrowly going to be Cloud9's match. Cubsy may need to try and find a drink now, though, as Azkarath played a gamble there and managed to have it pay off. Cold Snap available shortly for Alec. That's at least some breathing room for ABC. Mana is tied here at 35% dampening, and dampening makes things chaotic. It makes things unpredictable. However, Nixie is stunned and the entire team is locked out in crowd control. Nice push here from Cloud9. Ironbark may not be enough at 36% dampening. Nixie, he's on the run, but will he be able to stay alive? Line of sight, Wealthy Man flurries him. Cubsy's biting him. All 3 members of Cloud9 going for the kill. There's not really much defense left for Nixie. Azkarath jumps over, trying to save him. Cubsy stuns Azkarath. Wealthy Man blinks in. Blizzard onto 2 members of the team. Chanimal with Cataclysm on the other side. They've got them cornered. They've got them floundering. ABC are struggling to find air to breathe.
Yep, they definitely are. This is a difficult situation for Azkarath to really be in. He's behind the pillar. He's low. Nixie, no Cloak of Shadows, another 10 seconds, but they're going for it. Kidney shot on Chanimal with the Kleptomania. Alec in a good position to get out damage at this point in the game. Azkarath getting interrupted. Nixie still low. 5 seconds left on that Cloak of Shadows. I think he has the time, but there's a bash on Azkarath, and he has no trinket. Cloud9, they're going for it. The all-in. They take down Azkarath, and they are on match point.
Sending so many different teams packing, including both of the Method squads. They get all the way to the losers final to play for their spot in the grand final, and they take down this composition of the Mage, of the Lock, and the Druid. But when they go up against Cloud9, so far it just appears to be in a league of its own. Is Cloud9 going to assert absolute dominance on this tournament and prove that they are hands down the best team in the world?
We haven't even seen Snuts. Snuts is on Cloud9's roster. We haven't even seen him in one game.
Is he good?
In the spring finals. Is he good? You played with him. You tell me.
Yeah, he's pretty good. What's funny is we actually played this composition way back in 2010, the Mage Lock Druid, and Snuts, he's not really playing. He's on the bench right now, but I mean, he's got to be feeling good watching Cubsy, Chanimal, and Wealthy Man rip it up. And if they need him, they can tag Snuts in, which gives them a plethora of compositions. But they've only needed 1 composition in this tournament so far. They are up 3-0 in a best of 7 against ABC. If they win this game, they will be advancing to BlizzCon, as well as winning $50,000. $50,000, the king's share of the prize here in this weekend's tournament, the spring finals. And moving forward, if Cloud9 qualify, could potentially open up an extra slot for North America to qualify to the finals later on at the end of the summer season. So a lot on the line, not only for these 2 teams, but the regions as well. We do see a mana lead already established for Cloud9. We do see a peculiar choice on ABC's part to select a big map. Perhaps they're saying, well, if we can't beat them on the small maps, then let's just lock it in on the big maps, because we can't beat them there if we can't win on the small maps anyway. Let's just get it out of the way. But, I mean, that's more of a loser's mentality, I think, at that point. You're not even going to try and get a point on the board. Nixie's getting bursted down. He can't afford to make a mistake here. It's match point. Azkarath saves him. Close call for ABC. Yeah, definitely a very close call. Feint and Ironbark are enough damage reduction on the side of ABC to keep Nixie alive. He still has the Vanish and Cloak of Shadows. Good job by ABC not overreacting to the situation. And he did manage to survive that attempt. Interrupt on Azkarath, interrupt on Alec. Good crowd control by Cloud9 with the spell lock with the counter spell. Nixie in midfield, kind of left all alone, and that's one of the problems with this big map is Nixie in midfield, he is a vulnerable target. We know Cloud9, they like to go after the rogues. If Cubsy can move in, get the restells, could potentially set up his team. Azkarath moving forward, gets the bash on Cubsy into a full Cyclone. Very nicely done, but Chanimal, he's just positioned so far away. Nixie cannot connect to his target.
He's desperately trying to. ABC clinging for life here against Cloud9 in the grand finals. They swap to Wealthy Man. They maybe catch him off guard. They at least bank an ice block. Nice play by ABC.
Yeah, really nice play by ABC, switching it up. I mean, they did not find success on Channel, let's be honest. They're down 0-3 in the series. If they didn't change it up, that would literally be the definition of insanity. So I think going after Wealthy Man, testing him a little bit in this matchup. There's a smoke bomb, there's a kidney shot. ABC looking to put a point on the board. Safeguard procs. Channel trying to help him out with the Infernal Stun. Wealthy Man gets a huge heal, and as fast as he goes down to 5% HP, he goes to 100%.
Nixie.
Now Nixie's in trouble. Chaos Bolt gets shrugged off with Cloak of Shadows from Nixie. He does manage to survive. What a close call for both teams.
Close call on both sides here. It's match point here in the best of 7 grand finals. $50,000 on the line. BlizzCon on the line, and Cloud9 are sitting pretty. They're looking unbeatable in the tournament. They're looking unbeatable in World of Warcraft Arena. Period. With this Mage, Warlock, Restoration, Druid composition. Can they nail it out here? They just need one more win. Can they close it out? They've already got a mana lead. The cooldowns are looking at least even. Cubsy's regenerated back to full mana, and his team is in a solid position.
Yeah, I mean, a very solid position, I would say. They've got to be feeling very confident in this point in the series. Wealthy Man, all 4 DPS members caught in midfield right now. The Druid's trying to find crowd control. There's a Mortal Coil on a Nixie, onto Asgrath, but there's no follow-up crowd control. There's a bash on Alec. Can they force the ice block? He's getting lower. This is danger time. Wealthy Man looking for some damage, managing to find a few frost bolts, but Alex shuts it down with the polymorph, looking for a Ring of Frost, gets denied by Wealthy Man. Both teams do manage to stabilize. Channel now looking for some fears on Nixie to set himself up for a Chaos Bolt, but unfortunately unable to find it.
All right, unfortunately able to find it here. Asgaroth, and will he be able to escape and find mana? He needs to. He was able to on hook point, but Nixie literally survived at 1% health in exchange for it, and I don't know if they're going to be able to do that again. I don't know if that's repeatable even 4 more times in a row. I mean, this is just so devastating for ABC, but you can never count Rogue Mage out. It is the one composition that can pull off absolute miracles, and ABC have made it to the grand finals off the back of their Rogue Mage play. They've set up stellar crowd control attempts, see if they can coordinate together here against Cloud9 and at least put even just a point on the board against them. Otherwise, they will have gone down, I believe, 7-0 for the tournament against them, losing in the first round and now potentially losing in the grand finals as well. They're trying to battle it out. Asgaroth is far away, but with that Fell Hunter on him, he is unable to sit down for a drink. Cubsy lines up Innervade. His healing is now all free, so he will continue to build a mana advantage over that of Asgaroth. Nixie and Alec both being softened up at this point in what could be the final match of this tournament.
Yeah, it definitely could be. If we look at mana, Cubsy almost 100% mana. Cloud9 setting themselves up for success if we have just got in, or as we have just got into dampening. Nixie, of course, does have the Vendetta. There is an opportunity here, but they just have not found pressure in this match. Outside of the first ice block on Wealthy Man, there's just been no damage for ABC. Mortal Coil on Nixie. Does have the Cloak of Shadows, might have to trade it out. One Maledict does land from Chanimal, looking for a Chaos Bolt. Nixie does manage to survive. Asgaroth finding some heals. There's the bash. Cubsy pushes in, helping out his team, assisting with that Feral Affinity. Nicely done now behind the pillar. Just trying to play it a little bit safe, but like I said, ABC, where is their opening, Sid?
Well, they got Vendetta, they got Smoke Bomb, and Channel actually has no Gladiator's Medallion. That's the opening. Blow every single cooldown you've got, go all in and kill Chanimal. I don't see any other option. But they're going after Wealthy Man. Maybe if they can somehow get an ice block and then do that to Wealthy Man, I mean, that's another option, but they're going to run out of time to be able to create that opportunity. Cubsy's just chilling. I mean, he's literally sitting down for his drink while his team wins the game. That's a comfortable position to be in. Nixie below half, still trying to push forward. Asgaroth, where is he? He's in center field. Smoke Bomb gets dropped. This has to be it. Vendetta gets popped. Chanimal exchanges on ending resolve. Fair exchange there on his part. Blind now gets Skyer's Medallion from Cubsy. Chanimal deflects it with double Mortal Coil and stays alive. Good reaction from Chanimal. That win opportunity has now been lost, and Cloud9 will have the advantage, and they are beginning to overwhelm ABC here. It's match point.
Yeah, Asgaroth forced to use the Bar Skin, forced to use the Iron Bar. Cubsy just in cat form right now. Damage on Nixie, damage on Asgaroth. What is he going to do? Nixie, of course, has the Cloak of Shadows, has the advantage to keep himself alive at 14% dampening. Things are looking scary for ABC. Cubsy still full on mana. Everything going in favor of Cloud9 in this matchup. Fear on Alec. Nixie getting low. Cloak of Shadows gets traded out, and that could potentially be one of the last lines of defense that they have. You look at Asgaroth, he has no cooldowns. keep his team alive. He does manage to top off Nixie, but as fast as he tops himself off, Nixie still dipping low. Interrupt on Asgarath. Good pressure here from Wealthy Man. This is the Icy Veins. This is looking so good for Cloud9.
This is looking so good for Cloud9 right here in the grand finals. They're looking good to take it. They're up 3-0. They need one more win. $50,000 in BlizzCon. One more win. Can they do it? Can they pull it off? They've got every single advantage, and that's off the back of building it throughout such a long grand final, such a long tournament. They don't even look phased at this point. Nixie gets stunned up, but he pre-fainted. That faint's damage reduction with Ironbark needs to be enough because Asgarath has no mana. He has absolutely no mana left. Nixie Shadow steps out around the corner, ducking for cover, but Asgarath can't even heal him. He's waiting, hoping that he gets an Omen of Clarity proc for a regrow, but then gets spell locked instantly on it. He can't connect the heals. Wealthy Man ice lance him. He can't escape to drop combat and get a drink either. Chanimal pushes forward. Wealthy Man looking for crowd control. Asgarath jumping in for what could be the final push of the match here for ABC. Can they net a kill on Chanimal? The damage just isn't there. Wealthy Man shuts them down. Nixie is still in trouble. Asgarath needs 7 more seconds, 6 more seconds. Can he make it to that point? Wealthy Man's in the Cyclone. At least he can't get damage out. Nixie is stabilized. He's got Vendetta. There's no unending resolve, and there's no Ironbark. ABC have to kill Chanimal in the next minute or they're going home.
Yep, definitely. Chanimal, how is he going to hold on? Cubsy needs to keep him alive, but there's no Ironbark. Is he going to use the Vendetta? Here's the kidney shot. Nixie, what are you waiting for? Still holding on to that Vendetta. No Cloak of Shadows, no Vanish. Cloud9 with a huge offensive push. They might be able to take him down right now. Chanimal with the fear. Looking for a Chaos Bolt. Good counterspell by Alec to keep him alive. Cubsy gets the re-stealth, moves in, gets the bash, gateways away. Nixie is still holding on to that Vendetta.
And Ironbark is 20 seconds away. Unending Resolve is 17 seconds away. And that opportunity to get a kill is slowly but surely being lost. Spell lock on Asgarath. He can't heal. Nixie is so low on health. He cloaks. Will he be able to hold out? Will they be able to pull off the miracle here? There's nothing left. They're clinging. They're grasping at straws against Cloud9 to kill Chanimal, but they're getting overwhelmed. And Wealthy Man is looking like he's going to close it out. Cloud9 blow out the finals 4-0.
They are going to be your AWC Spring Finals champions, the first team to go to BlizzCon representing North America. Now we know I do want to give a big shout out to the runners-up in ABC because, look, upper quarters, Cloud9, the first team they play against is ABC. They tear them to pieces, knock them down to the lower bracket, and then ABC goes on a rampage.
Yeah, I mean, ABC, they did. They were in the lower bracket. They beat Method Orange 3-0, ended up beating the boys, marched through Changed My Mind, and then beat Method Black in an unbelievable series, earning their way to the grand final. So you can really never count this team out.